Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see you guys here. My God, what a day today. We're going to talk about it. Unbelievable game, unbelievable result. Wow. Um, what can I say? I was in the middle of doing the game vlog today, but with the boxing coming up, we're going to cover the boxing as well at 10 o'clock. Everyone's going to try and tune in and get ready for that. So don't worry, guys. We're going to be with you very, very soon. We're going to talk about player ratings, and we're going to obviously talk about everything else, including enjoying a little bit of the boxing. Now, I'm just checking audio here. Let me know what you guys all thought of the game, because I was really impressed with the way how we came out, and especially in the second half. You knew when things were going wrong, things were going sort of belly up. United was starting to get back on top of us, and we just looked really shaky before the half. It was touch and go for us. United were pinning us back, and then in the second half, all the changes that was done by Arteta, they came out vigorously, and I thought that they came out with authority, and they really, really looked like they were ready to get the job done. Then we had the problem with the penalty. Oh Lord, the penalty, man. I mean, it's so hard to deal with the adversities. Being an Arsenal fan, you're almost petrified. You're almost petrified. Even at 2-1, you just thought, oh, what are we going to do to throw the game away? And I think for me, it was important because I looked at today and thought we could bridge this distance and kind of look at the Brentford game like Spurs might not get anything from it. So I met up with Ebony and I said to her, you know what, Spurs ain't going to get 3 points today. And funny enough, look what happened. And it seems that I was right about that, because there was so much riding on it. And I just think the pressure was too much. But Tottenham are just, boy, talk about going into the can. They're at the time of their life, just like kind of we were a couple of weeks back, where you were fighting for survival to get this top four, and they weren't interested. It was just like, what is going on? And now Tottenham, when you look at it, they just look so toothless. So the first thing I said was actually that Brentford had gone 5 games unbeaten with Christian Eriksen starting. Yeah. They hadn't lost. And when you look at Christian Eriksen, when he was Inter Milan, Conte was his manager, and he never played the guy. He was always on the bench, like flat out on the bench. So you kind of felt today that the players at Brentford were rallying around Christian Eriksen for so many different reasons. Conte was his manager that didn't show him any love. Spurs never wanted him. So he came out, got all the clearances from his doctor, and said, you know, I'm coming back. No phone call from Spurs whatsoever. So anyway, this guy ended up going to Brentford. And today, they actually should have won. In injury time, Tony had a chance, and they should have won. They should have put the game away. But what this means for us, guys, is it's just a massive boost for Arsenal's top 4 chances. And for Spurs, you're kind of throwing it away now. Because before, we needed to get a win at Tottenham. It was imperative. We needed to go there and deliver a knockout blow to Tottenham. But because Tottenham draw today, it means that Arsenal, effectively 2 points ahead, could beat West Ham. Now all you need to do is go to Tottenham and get a draw. That's it. If you go to Tottenham and you get a draw, that's job done. And then you win out your last 3 games. And if you can do that, top 4 is ours. So it's a little bit more simplistic, because before today, we needed to go to Tottenham's ground and win. And now you don't have to do that. And all we can ask for is West Ham to give us a little bit of favors, show us some love, give us a favor and roll over and let the Gunners just take the 3 points next week. But I think it's good, man. I mean, but let's talk about today. Today, guys, Arsenal against Man United, it was littered with mistakes. I mean, oh, Lord. The game was just damn foolery from both sides. And I wasn't surprised with Arsenal, because, you know, the guys like Cedric, Gabriel, Ramsdale have been struggling for a while. Their form has been completely off the boil. And today, when you look to all three of those players, they weren't very good. And it was difficult to come in and see a performance from the midfield was fantastic. The front players for Arsenal were exceptional. I mean, the movement, what they had to do with Maguire. Remember, Maguire wasn't there. They rooted him out. They put in Varane. And United tightened it up at the back. They tightened it up. So what Arsenal had to do in order to come out and take that game to Man United was exceptional. The front players were brilliant. And it all kind of stemmed from the link-up play and the hold-up play from Nketiah. Saka was dangerous. Smith-Rowe was okay. I thought Smith-Rowe was okay. And the whole combination of Odegaard finding the seams really worked well today. The midfield, guys, the midfield was exceptional. The midfield, Xhaka and El Nene just donned. They just donned the game. And I thought that we dealt with a lot of the toughest parts of their midfield, Bruno Fernandes, and the link play to McTominay and Ronaldo. That was the danger, really. And Sancho so much on the left. Sancho was giving Cedric a torrid time on the left. He really, really was. But Arsenal were littered with defensive mistakes as well, and our 2-goal lead didn't really look solid. And then Tavares gave away the penalty, which allowed Bruno Fernandes to step up and just make a fool of himself. Step up and make a fool of himself. Do you know what? I've got a confession to make. When he stepped up to take the penalty, I turned my face away because I didn't want to see it. And at the last minute, I turned back and then I see it go wide of the post because I just couldn't accept that Arsenal, after that long, was going to be 2-2 in a game like today, which we were clearly on top of. And United kind of really offered us nothing. So I was really happy when they missed that penalty. I said, yeah, today's going to be our day. And right now, you got to look at the fact that Spurs, although they have the better goal difference, and people are saying that they have the easier running, but everybody forgets this is the Premier League, guys. This is the Premier League. No one has it easy running. There's no easy games for anybody. And Tottenham have been terrible. In their last 2 games, Tottenham haven't had a single shot on target. In the last 2 games, they have not had a shot on target. So Arsenal really are finding their form. Arsenal, 7 goals in the last 2 games. Completely different from where Tottenham is. And I would love to see if those things start to change. So, guys, let's talk about the players. Let's talk about the player ratings. Oh, before I do my player ratings, Ebony is not here. She's gone out. Lewis isn't here as well. So let me talk about their ratings as well. Ebony, she's given Ramsdale, she's put fiance. We still couldn't find her a shirt today when we went to the Armory. Ebony is saying that Ramsdale is a 5, and she's given Ben White a 5 as well. Cedric, she's given a 7. Tavares is given a 5. Probably that's because of the goal as well. Gabriel's got a 7. El Nene's got a 9. He was her man of the match. Odegaard gets an 8. Xhaka, she's given a 7. Smith-Rowe, she's given a 7. Saka, she's given an 8. And Nketiah gets an 8 as well. The manager, he gets a 7. So thank you very much, Ebony, for that. Lewis, again, Lewis's marks are a little bit different to Ebony's. So we're going to talk about Lewis's grade in a second. If you guys have any grades, please let me know. If you guys have got some grades, let me just check here. Because has anybody sent me any grades? Hold on, let me just check. I've just got an inbox message with some grades. So I'm just checking them off now so I can put them on the screen. Oh, right. Okay. I think that's Vinci. Remember, guys, Tony's at the event tonight. So Tony is going to be doing all the boxing stuff from he's in Lewisham. He's in a pub in Lewisham. So he's going to be, hopefully, if I can get a word from him after the boxing match, that would be great. So that's where we are on that one. So let's talk about Lewis. Lewis's grade, he's gone for, I don't know why he hasn't graded Ramsdale. Life Kanguna, how are you doing, bro?
Good.
Right, hold on. You're coming up a little bit quiet. Can you talk again?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're really quiet, though.
Okay, give me a sec.
Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, that's better. So Lewis has gone for Arteta gets a 7, White a 6, Cedric a 6, Tavares gets a 7, Gabriel gets a 7, El Nene is also his man of the match with an 8, Odegaard 7, Xhaka 7, Smith Rowe a 7, Saka a 7, and Nketiah a 7. So Lewis has been a little bit more consistent, and maybe that's because of the amount of mistakes that was made in the game. So very, very, very strange. How are you getting on, mate?
Can you hear me? I'm doing well. How you doing?
Yeah, I can hear you now. How are you
doing?
Those are Lewis's
Tierney, how are you doing?
On there. Yeah, I'm doing good. You're coming through okay. I at first I thought it was just my mic that was quiet. But yeah, I was just saying before you and Africa Guna came in, I was just saying about how I was saying to Ebony that the Brentford Spurs game is going to be key. And I said Tottenham will not get 3 points today because of the whole Conte didn't play Eriksen when he was at Inter Milan. He sat him on the bench, who frustrated him, which forced Eriksen to leave. And then obviously Tottenham didn't want him. So
follow on this conspiracy theory.
yeah, I was hoping, but it was actually a decent game, you know. Brentford had a chance in the injury time to win it.
2 chances.
And it just didn't happen for them. But Tottenham now 2 games and not a single shot on goal in their last 2 games.
But they still have an easier running than we do.
Not near.
Well,
they have Watford and Norwich. We have no easy game until the end of the year.
Yeah, my answer to that was I don't think there's anything as an easy run-in or easy games or anything like that. If I said to you last week that Tottenham were going to lose and draw over those last 2 games, we would have said, nah, they're going to roll over. They're going to roll them teams over. And look where we are.
No, I actually thought that us and Tottenham, apart from Tottenham's 2 last games, were tough running. Apart from Tottenham, Norwich game and Watford game, the 2 last games of the year, they have Leicester. They got to play Liverpool. They got to play us. They have a lot of tough games, just like how we do. And frankly, when we had the last 10 games, I was wondering if we're going to win any game, frankly, even before we played Palace, because we still can't score goals. Now, that sounds strange when you score 7 goals, but look at the goals we have scored.
In the last,
and you realize that we're still not creating enough great chances to score goals. We're just not. And we scored 7 in the last 2 games.
It's strange because... 7 in the last 2 games for a team that is struggling. That actually in that 3-game stretch had only scored 1 in 5, and that was a deflected 40-yard shot from Odegaard.
So apart from the Smith Rowe goal and the Xhaka goal, look at the other 5 goals. So the 2 goals scored by Nketiah, both of which is just Nketiah's doing, nothing to do with team play and build up. The 2 penalties scored by Saka, and the tap in by Tavares.
So out of those, the Smith Rowe goal was the pick of the bunch. That was a great.
Yes, it's a brilliant goal. It's a brilliant goal.
Bertram is so.
No, because African Guna, what you guys sometimes miss, which frustrate me, is you guys just take the win and run with it and all happy, and I look at the sequence and the totality of the play to then say, you know what, where are we really positioned? We are very tactical in our approach.
I don't disagree with you at all. I don't see it in that way because I'm just too blinded by the happiness. If we were to score penalties till the end of the season, I really wouldn't care because I don't see it scoring. Like, I don't think it's magically going to happen. I think we're not playing with a striker. We don't have a striker. So wherever the goals come at this point for me is just like, I just want the goals to come. We have 5 games left in the season. We just got to get to where we need to get to and then figure it out in the summer. And then if we have a problem next year, then we can talk about it and say, okay, yeah, look, we're still not scoring goals. But as of now, I don't care. I just want to win the game.
Yeah, you're both right to a point. I would love to play, you know, we can't have it both ways, can we, Bertrand? Under when we had the three amigos or the three musketeers, we used to call them Rosicky, Kleb, Fabregas. You know, when we had the Nasri, that midfield, we were outplaying almost every team that we were facing. We had Van Persie up front, but we had no defense. We had no spine. We had no goalkeeper. I had no centre backs. But in terms of, I'm talking about playing, quality of football was the best in the league, but we won nothing.
Yeah, well, Apollo, we enjoyed our football then.
Yes.
I don't enjoy it. You know, right? We weren't playing good defense, I agree. But you know what? We go into game thinking, we know we're going to score goals. No matter what you do, we're going to score a goal. And we're enjoying the football. Yeah. And in many games, we expect to come out with a positive result. Now, I go into games thinking, referee, please blow it off at 80 minutes so I can hold my win and just go home. I don't want to watch the rest of the game. I don't like to watch football that way. 80 minutes today, I'm like, please blow the whistle. Just say the game is done. Whatever happens, I have a part. I don't want to enjoy it. I'm not enjoying my football.
Yeah,
that's my frustration.
I think for me, like I'm a little bit more in agreement with like Guna. This isn't the finished article with the donkeys on there, and sometimes the donkeys are turning up. I mean, today Xhaka played an exceptional game. We ain't seen the lack of.
Hey, back up, Apollo. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
All right,
I can't hear you.
Record him.
Guys, so if you didn't see my last stream, I congratulated Xhaka on playing well in the last game. Yeah, so
he's been playing well all season. He's been playing well all season.
No. But the last two games,
he's been playing well all season. Yeah. He's been playing well all season.
It's good. It's good, Ben, because I need you to say that because I ain't gonna say a damn thing.
All season you playing well. In fact, you know what happened? He's been taking more risk. I mean, the company we're talking about today, he's picking 40-yard pass. That shot he took has always been in his locker. My frustration is, why don't he take it more often?
Yeah, I know. He's
always had that in his locker.
Yeah, but he doesn't take those shots more often.
And what Arteta's proving is that he's not as good a manager as you guys say he is because he plays the same people week in, week out. And he has bench like El Nene, who does a good job most often than not. What El Nene did today, which was I really love in the game, was, you know what? He dipped his shoulder. He didn't always make the same pass.
That was a crazy move.
He did it more than once. He dipped his shoulder because when you're pressing me and I dip and I get out of your press, I have the whole field open up to me.
Yeah.
So he's not making a safe pass backwards like he normally does. He's taking more risk, and he has it in his locker. He just doesn't do it because, you know what? If you're not a starter, you play safe. You don't want to make a mistake and then get pulled. And by the way, Tavares, I had to say this, Tavares.
He's a liability,
man. He's beyond a liability. Like crazy liability.
He's got a lot to do. So, before I go into my player ratings, let me just get your thoughts about the game. Like African Guna, what was your overall thoughts about the game?
Yeah, overall thoughts is I've been part of a local WhatsApp group with some Arsenal fans. It's been about a while now. But we never actually watched the game together. And for some reason yesterday, after that Chelsea win, there was that confidence to say, let's go watch this game together. So we actually went to a pub to watch the game together. It was about 6-7 guys. And I mean, 3 minutes in, we score, and we're just going crazy. It's wonderland. Like, we just can't believe that in the first 3 minutes we've already scored. And then obviously, we scored the second goal. We're quite comfortable. A minute later, Ronaldo scores. I think Tavares and Gabriel didn't do really well on that front. And really, I think we got lucky. There was a lot of decisions that went our way in terms of VAR. I know I watched a segment later after the game, and it said basically the law of the game is that if you're falling and it touches your hand, it's not a penalty. But I mean, Cedric, that was clueless. Like, it was just clueless. And I think even Tavares, I mean, how do you go up for a header with your hand up here? Like, it just, that was foolishness as well. So, we got, and then penalty too. Like, Fernandes never misses penalties. Never. He's missed one.
Right. Isn't that two? That's 2 in a row for him, right?
Is it in a row? I don't know if it's in a row.
Yes, it is. It's missed 2 in a row. I saw it on Twitter on Opta.
I was really expecting Ronaldo to take it, and I didn't understand why he didn't take it. And I think that really changed the game for me. If they scored that, I think it would have been a completely different game. Even Dalot, when he hit the post, I mean, Ramsdale even made a really good save. Even though he almost cost us a 2.5, he made a really good save. So, I mean, I was comfortable at 2-0, But as soon as it was 2-1, I wasn't too comfortable. I wanted the half to end. I wanted us to get back in. And then I think in the first 15, 20 minutes of the second half, I didn't feel comfortable at all. I think Man U was dominating possession. They were putting a lot of pressure. And I wanted Arteta to make a change. Tavares, as we said, he was a liability. I think it was just too much adrenaline. He was confused. He scored a goal. He gave away a penalty. I mean, he was all over the shop around the 60th minute. And I was just like, you got to take this guy off. As soon as he got a yellow card, I was like, take him off. And, I mean, look, he did well to stay on. But for me, we held on. And then, obviously, he scored the third goal. I think Nketiah played well. I think everyone played well. I mean, I'm shocked Xhaka scored that goal. Look, it doesn't change my opinion on him. I don't understand why fans are sucking him off. This is 2 games that he played well. And I don't agree with
he's played like this all season. I don't agree with that at all.
Exactly. And even if he suddenly started playing like this, I have had enough of him. I don't care. I'd rather take the risk and get someone else and just move on from him. That's the stage I'm at. But I mean, we're fair in our reflection. I'm still giving him credit for his play. It was a great shot. And Bertram, he doesn't shoot like that all the time. Yes, he has it in his locker, but I mean, how often do you see him really get it on target and in the corner? I mean, I think the last time I saw it was against Chelsea when he had that free kick. So, yeah, look, again, as I said, I didn't really care where the goals went from. I think Odegaard was great today in terms of creation. That pass to Saka, wow, what a pass for the penalty. So overall, I can't really complain. I'm super happy. I don't really care if we didn't dominate the game. I think it was only important to get the 3 points. And yeah, moving forward, as I said, we just need to keep going, keep putting the points on the board. United are completely out of it now. Spurs dropping points today. So look, they're still playing Leicester, they're still playing Liverpool, and they're still playing us. So, we could really put them to bed even before the last 2 games of the season. So yeah, I can't complain as an Arsenal fan today. This week has just been amazing. I don't remember the last time we beat United and Chelsea in the same week like that. I don't think that's happened in my life before. So, yeah, I'm shocked.
So I just wanted to show you guys something. Why can I get this on there? Let me see. Save image. Okay, I think I've done that. Let me open it up. Here we go. Right, I can get it now. Yeah, all right. Let me show this so we can have a look at it and see. I was pointing this out to the guys earlier on today. This is the goal that Xhaka scored. And guess who played? And guess who played a part? Guess who played a part? Yeah, look who's blocking the view of the goalkeeper.
And he's offside. So apparently it shouldn't count. Rio Ferdinand was pissed. He was so pissed. Yeah. I watched him. He was so upset. And the referee said basically,
I'm going to blow this up. You can actually see Nketiah's got in De Gea's way, and De Gea is moving his head to the side because he can't see Xhaka. He can't see the shot. He doesn't know it's coming. So full credit. Strikers don't normally get shout-outs for things like that. But I thought Eddie, his link play in a triangle, is picking up the ball in the midfield, his hold-up play, and distributing it out wide for attacks. I've been so used to Lacazette getting the ball and falling to the ground, and just not holding the ball up. I've been so used to that terrible exhibition of hold-up play from Lacazette so long that I've just thought that Arsenal are never going to get there. And then when I see Nketiah up front, I'm surprised because as a Nketiah fan, I think his biggest weakness is hold-up play. And over the last 2 games, he's done pretty well. He's held the ball up. He's been a point man. He started the attacks. And with all credit to Eddie, he doesn't like to play with his back to the defense. That's something he can't do. He'll more play the ball quickly, but isn't that what we want? We want the ball moving faster. We don't want players to hold the ball too long, and that's what frustrated me about Tavares. Tavares, why on earth doesn't this guy just pass the ball on? Why is he trying to take 50 touches? And that just it's just...
Yeah, he's raw.
I think for Tavares, he needs to go out on loan. He's just not. He's going to be a good player, I think, actually. But even when he first came to us, he could beat a player. Now he can't even beat a man. I don't know if you guys realize that. His offensive attributes are his best attributes. And that's not really working really well. And defensively, he lacks awareness. He lacks positional play. He's an error waiting to happen. And Arteta was going to change him today. And Arteta got to think about himself. And when Saka went down, he decided not to change him. But you needed to change him because he was a walking time bomb.
Yeah, I agree. Had you had lost today or not got the 3 points, he would have been at fault for it. Because the amount of possessions that he gave away was frightening. I mean, it wasn't once or twice. I mean, it was just like constantly.
And African Gooners, everyone played well. I don't agree with you, African Gooner. Not everyone played well.
No, we'll get to the ratings. I'm not saying everyone. Cedric was awful, and he was awful. Those were the two worst. And Ramsdale was iffy in the beginning, but he made some.
Smith Rowe didn't play well. Smith Rowe hasn't played well for a while.
Yeah,
Smith Rowe. Arteta's trying to be creative, overly creative, by moving his left back up to play left wing, putting Smith Rowe in the hole. It's not working. Smith Rowe is out of the game. He's lost.
Yeah, it's an element of the COVID.
He's
as well,
lost in the game.
He's got more energy. He's got more energy today from what I've seen. His running is better, but it's a slow process. He just didn't have.
He doesn't affect the game, Apollo. He doesn't affect the game. Saka affects the game, even though he hasn't scored in the last 5 games. Don't tell me about penalties. He hasn't scored from open field in the last 5 games. I keep this track because we need to win, and my forwards need to score goals or create goals. Smith Rowe scored a brilliant goal against Chelsea, but he's not in the game. He's not affecting the game. He's not putting pressure on the defense. So then more pressure comes on us.
Yeah. I want to see your spreadsheet, your Excel spreadsheet, Bertrand, one day. You got to share it with me.
I watch the games. I do follow the stats. Apollo give me stats, and I have to challenge his stats sometimes. Yeah, so here I'm talking about. I want to digress the conversation around my friend from Brazil today, and I'm saying he's a very good player who we're trying to pursue, Jesus, right? Not to digress the conversation, but if you look at his totality of his game and what I would look for in a forward, there's some fundamental things he lacks. Yeah. And we're going to sit here and be frustrated. Look, he can play in the hole, which is what we need someone to play with Odegaard and with Saka in the hole. But back to the goal, prolific in the air, get behind the defense. We need a forward that have all those attributes.
Yeah, but you have multiple people, so you can switch it up. He's not going to be the main striker.
Yeah, that's what I said to Bertram. Yeah,
game plan, then we bring him in. That's my.
No, he's versatile, right? So he can play out wide too. But anyway, let's go back to the ratings. I don't want to digress the conversation.
Before I go into my ratings and a couple of the guys in the chat, I'm waiting. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to come to you. I see all your comments and everything. Vincey, what did you think of today's game? I saw you in the forum loving it, absolutely loving it.
Do you know what this is? This is the one game every year I hate. I hate playing Manchester United because I heard Martin Keown talking to Rio Ferdinand and saying that we're always up for the game and we think that we can beat Man United when he was playing, but we always too often we'd let ourselves down and get battered by United, and it's just a frustrating game. So today, when I'm looking at the game and I'm thinking, we went 2-0 up, and I couldn't really predict what the scoreline would be today. And when I realised Ronaldo was on, I thought, there's going to be goals here. And we went 2-0 up, and I thought, okay, they're going to come back. And we rode our luck. But for once, we took our chances. And you know what? I'm going to walk away 90 minutes, with a great win over United. Xhaka, for me, last game for me, I gave El Nene just ahead of him in the midfield ratings. Today, I switched it. And at half-time, I said Xhaka was man of the match. At half-time. Because, his crosses led to the first goal. Yeah, and he was just the way how he's moving the ball, it's almost like between him and El Nene, they've got an understanding where they've got to take the onus and do what Partey would normally do. And they work quite well today in how they had to take the game to United. Defensively, we got some concerns. I mean, the formation for me, I thought Tavares just got confused. He thought he had more time on the ball all the time. His control was poor. His decision making at times was was suspect. And as Bertram says, he quite easily could have been taken off. Credit to Arteta, he didn't take him off. I thought we got away with. I thought we got away with the result, but I'll take it because at the end of the day, we deserve some luck,
Yeah, and Vincent, you know how many goals Man U could have scored today?
It's ridiculous.
Do you guys realize how many goals they could have scored?
Ridiculous.
Look at, we could have gotten they could have gotten a penalty like we did. I don't think it was a penalty, but it looked close, right? They have Dalot's shot, Dalot's Napo shot that Ramsey saved. There's so many different situations where they could have scored goals. They didn't score.
Yeah,
Ronaldo also, which was barely offside with tough hours, almost kept him on. There were so many situations we could have scored, so we got out of jail today.
Yeah. So
when people say my standards are high, they're not watching the whole game. It's not my standards are high, I'm watching the whole game. Not high standards. But anyway, my standards need to be high. Yeah.
So guys, our record against Manchester United, let's have a look. Arsenal won 2-0 at home, 2009 March. Then there was a 1-1 draw in September 2019. Arsenal at home again, 2-0 January 2020. That was a brilliant game. Arsenal away from home at Old Trafford, 1-0 November 2020. It was 0-0 at home, Arsenal, January 2021. And then last December, we went up there and lost 3-2. And then today we've won. So United, in the last 8 games, Arsenal have won 4, drawn 3, and lost 1.
And the one we lost was Odegaard giving away a penalty.
Yes, that's right. He scored in that game as well. Remember? He was.
Yeah. But the penalty was the deciding factor in the game.
Yeah,
but United haven't lost in London this year.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like it doesn't matter the form they're in. Today was a big result for us to actually win. Yeah, that's good, man. Take it.
So let me get G's. G says Ramsdale 4, White 5, Cedric 4, Tavares 3, Gabriel 4, El Nene 9, Odegaard 8, Xhaka 7, Smith Rowe 7, Saka 8, Nketiah 8, and Arteta 7. And I believe Bobby is next. Moses, they say Bertrand's wrong at this. We're scoring goals, which are needed the most. We have forgotten with how Aubameyang and Lacazette, we have struggled this season to get goals. I think Eddie's an important part of that. I think, yes, we've got a scoring problem. Bertram's right. But since Eddie's been in there, we're scoring goals. So is he the missing link? That's something.
No, Apollo. We've had scoring problems for 3 years, Apollo.
Yeah, that's true.
Abba scored a lot of goals to bring us to win the FA Cup, and in that season, there was Abba scoring all the goals. We always got a scoring problem. Period.
Yeah. Well,
I think the formation makes a big. I think the formation and the tactics is a huge impact to that, and it was just refreshing just to see how attacking we were against Chelsea. Even though we defensively were poor, we actually looked comfortable playing attacking football against Chelsea.
We gotta waste, guys. We gotta waste so much today. It's unbelievable. You forget that Fernandes missed a penalty and a chipper. One Ramsey gave to him. That's about 6 goals, which are clear-cut chances.
Yeah, but De Gea did make a few saves, though. I mean, he had 3 or 4 saves. The one from El Nene, 2 from Nketiah. We made the goalkeeper work hard as well.
1 from Odegaard as well, which was
1 from Odegaard, It was a crazy game today. Very entertaining for a neutral, I must say. I wonder what Andy's going to say about Spurs and Brentford next Friday. I can't wait to hear that.
Andy lost it today.
What was the score? I don't know what the score was.
0-0.
0-0. And they should have lost, by the way. They should have lost.
They should have lost. So before I said we need to beat Spurs at their ground. Now, if we beat West Ham next week, draw with Spurs, and win out the season, then we're 4th. So it's changing all the time. Moses says Xhaka deserves his current form. The reason every manager picks him is, apart from the red cards, is he's always available for elections, less injuries.
Guys, look at Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle. We really missed out on that. He's been playing amazing. I mean, him replacing Xhaka in this team would be way, way ahead.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, he's playing well, but Willock is also playing well because I watch all their games. And we saw Willock. So Willock is playing really well, actually.
He is,
and in fact, he's in the team every week. Even when he's been injured, he come back, he gets in the team.
That's right.
But Kimura is a good player, and he's scoring more than what one expected, actually.
Bobby says Ramsdale 6, Cedric 4, Gabriel 5, White 6, Tavares 5, Xhaka 8, El Nene 8, Saka 9. Saka's his man of the match. Smith Rowe 6, Odegaard 6, Nketiah 7. So I'm going to put up mine.
So the best thing that happened today was Tomiyasu coming off the bench.
That was awesome.
That's the best thing that happened.
And he destroyed Ronaldo.
Because you know why? Because now we have someone to play on one side of the field to lock down defensively. We can figure out the left side afterwards.
Yeah, it was
we've got our Deion Sanders. I'm trying to get the boxing up on my tablet here.
Him on the pitch. I mean, just with the little time he had, he did so much more than Cedric. Or like within minutes, just shoved, put Ronaldo to the floor. Got a foul. I mean, like just you can tell the difference in quality just straight away.
Just awesome.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm gonna give Ramsdale a 5. What is going on with this guy's form? Some horrible moments playing out of the backfield. I mean, some of the passes, his distribution was just awful. He did make a couple of vital saves, I have to admit, but this is the Aaron Ramsdale that we thought we were buying. Do you remember when we said, "Oh no, not Aaron Ramsdale"? This is the Aaron Ramsdale that we thought we were buying. Bertram, you're dying to say something, so chime in quickly.
His distribution has been awful.
Yeah, his
distribution has been atrocious. Today he gave away a goal. And you know what? He's been lucky. All his mistakes, whether the ball going through his leg against, I forgot what team it was, and he kicked and missed. Everything he has done has worked out well. He must be a good luck charm. Because he hasn't paid for his mistake. And I hope he doesn't pay for it. I hope he learns and cut those out because they're unforced mistakes, which makes no sense.
But I have to say something, guys. We do have to remember he's 23. So I'm gonna take that with a pinch of salt and see how he develops. But I expect more from him.
Apollo, we're gonna sit on the lap for the entire team. The average age is 23. He's an adult on that team. He's old.
But he's right. Goalkeeper, it's even worse because 23. That's like a 8-year-old for a goalkeeper, right? I mean, we know
he acts like it sometimes because that wasn't cool. It wasn't cool what he did today in their friend and I's face.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Cool.
I'm not agreeing.
It wasn't
not
cool.
Just today. I mean, recently, the past month, he's been off.
Yeah,
it's not been good. So I've given Cedric a 3. Now, I'm a fan of the player. I do like Suarez, but Sancho was cutting him up today. Sancho was slicing him up, and quite frankly, I don't think he's recovered from the last game as well. These are the reasons why I wanted the team to play with 3 at the back, because you don't have to then worry about a Tavares, a Cedric. You wouldn't have to worry about them because you just put Holding in the middle, put Ben White on the right, Gabriel on the left, and then away you go, and then let the midfield work it out. The midfield right now, with Xhaka and Nene playing so well, they can clean up and handle any of the issues that we have. It's just we can't. Something's going to have to be done against.
There's a problem. He plays 3 at the back. Apollo. What does he do with Odegaard? That's the problem that he faces.
I noticed that when we were playing 3-4-3, Odegaard was in it. First, he dropped into the midfield, and then he went and played wide right in that attacking right position. So there are ways they can work around.
He's always playing wide right because he doesn't go on the left. So it's always, he plays from the middle to the right. He doesn't go on the left. He's supposed to be He's supposed to be playing the 10, and he's never on the left.
Mark is saying, still no Xhaka rating, Apollo. You should be embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed, mate. If you've been following the last 2 streams, then you would have heard exactly what I've said about the player. But then you don't need my rating.
Mark rating is 10. Don't worry about it. Rating is a 10. It's a 10.
You rate him, Mark. Let's hear your rating because everyone here, including myself, has said that he's played very, very well. Not just today, but in the last game as well. So I don't have to rate him. That's why I got you guys. I'm gonna go for. Let me see who else is next. It's.
I can't wait for that Amazon.
Is it?
All or nothing, you know.
Apollo,
Apollo meets.
Hey, Apollo. No matter how bad Tavares is, he cannot be a 3 because he scored the first goal.
Yeah.
He's changed the game. He can't get a 3, Apollo, because he scored the first goal. And he was awful, by the way, in the second half. But he was okay in the first half, and he scored the first goal.
So I just want to explain, when someone scores a goal, they get an extra point. It's only worth an extra point in my book.
But I give him 2 for starting the game against Man Utd.
Yeah, so realistically, he gets a 2 for today, but he scored. Yeah. Ben White, I thought Ben White had a decent game. I mean, I didn't think Gabriel played well at all, and we'll come to him in a second. But I think that Ben White, in terms of his clearances, some of the through balls that he put through, a couple to Nketiah, a few to Smith Rowe on the left-hand side. It reminded me of David Luiz. We haven't seen that from him in a couple of weeks. These long balls have been missing, but today he had quite fun playing the ball in distributions. He's I just think his positioning today was not exceptional, not what I would expect from him. But I thought he had a decent game, so I'm giving him a 6. Gabriel, man. Okay, so first of all, he had a crucial block in the first half, which I thought we need to shout him out on. But outside of that block, oh Lord, Gabriel, man, guilty for both of the goals. I mean, the worst thing is, how are you going to make Cristiano Ronaldo, 37 years old, run in front of you in the box and not just get in front of you in positioning, but have the ability to hold you back? You're 6'3". You're standing next to Ronaldo and you're letting him out-muscle you for the goal. What is all that?
Polo,
I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
In front of him. He went through the middle of Tavares and him. He wasn't in front of him. He went through. And Ronaldo's Ronaldo, man. Like, it doesn't matter how big you are.
Poor.
Bro. He's just too good.
African Gunnar. I don't agree with Apollo's analysis, but the end result was his man, not Tavares' man.
Yeah,
yes, he was in between them. But there's no way he should not be staying off him. And the ball was flat. I agree, the cross. But that shouldn't have scored. Come on. That
should not have scored.
He stopped
trying.
Guilty.
Going
to the ball.
But the second goal wasn't his fault. The second goal was Tavares' fault.
Yeah,
they're playing offside trap. So Tavares need to get out.
I mean, I'm still trying to figure out, because you know what it is, guys? We hold Gabriel in high esteem, you know, for his physicality. This guy is a monster in one-on-one duels, and you go and let the guy do that to you. Come on, man. He didn't play well at all today. And when he got the ball in distribution, he was shaky. It was almost like you're just so nervous. And
I think the press butted us today, and we got to realize when to play trying to come out from the press and when to go long, and we haven't gotten it right. They were pressing. They start incrementally first, and they start coming closer and closer and closer and pushing up, and we weren't realizing that if we can get the ball through the middle, over the top, or through the middle, and beat the first line of the press, we could get at them, which we did some, but we were very shaky when they pressed us.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to get subbed for Rob Holding after 60 minutes. I just wanted him.
No, that's never going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
that's not the strategy. No.
Tavares gave him a 3. The willingness was there to support the front line, and the work rate was there. The running into, he has his moments in attack. He really does. And you got to put that down to the great attacking enthusiasm he has in his game. But man, does this guy ever get caught napping? He takes so long on the ball in possession. It's just, when you get the ball, I mean, in the schoolyard, we're learned to play 2-touch football. At school, in the playground, you learn to play 2-touch football. Why is this guy taking 4 or 5 touches, inviting tackles on and getting depossessed? It was happening time and time and time again. And the thing is, because he was so far up the field, he's got no cover behind him. So as soon as he lost the ball, we're on the back foot. It's just, come on. I mean, I'm not even talking about the penalty he gave away. Just the fact that he was constantly caught napping, giving the ball away, we cannot do this, guys. A couple of weeks ago, there was this discussion: shall we play him? Shall we not play him? Some fans said, yeah, play him, show him confidence. Other fans were like, no, our running is too vital for that. And I'm at the stage now where I say, don't play him. I just can't get another performance like that. We can't accept another performance like that.
I'll play him again. No brainer.
We don't have a choice.
No
and
play.
I think the scary thing for me is, guys, when he had that game, he had a game of a 7-game stretch where he was fluid. There was no mistakes.
No,
7 games. That's a lot of games.
Look, guys, I would play him again in training, but never against a team to the remainder of the season. Never. He's a walking time bomb.
I can't
Every
have
game he
that.
plays, look at this. Every game he plays, he makes major mistakes. You can't afford.
Yeah. And you know what? It's going to catch up with you. Keep him on the field.
Yes.
It's going to catch up with you. And by that time, it'll be too late.
Left back. What are you going to do now?
I would go. Look, I thought he would have gone straight at the back and play Saka wing back way back,
Yeah,
but he's not doing that.
That's what I said.
I thought he would have done that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to go because he want to get Odegaard on the field, so he doesn't want to go that route.
Yeah. And Vincey's not saying nothing because he likes three at the back. He loves that formation. And I agree with him. We just look. Arteta ball has been displayed in a different, in a different light when we're playing that formation. We have, in my opinion, we've never looked good in a back four as we have in a back three under Arteta. That's just my opinion.
We don't have the energy in midfield for just to play four at the back. We just don't have it to go up and down. We just don't have it. So you've got to allow the guys to play their natural game and have three at the back and have better passing, better movement in front, and then you have more chances.
So El Nene, I'm going to go an 8.5. This guy is just a revelation. The fans are calling him Egyptian God, Egyptian Messi, and all this other stuff. He's always been like that, guys. I don't think people understand when we've talked about him over the years, how this guy has always played his game. I think the frustration is when you listen to fans talk about him, they talk about him and judge him on how he was under Emery when he was playing left back and he was playing centre back, and that's not his position. He's a central midfielder, and when he plays there, he's always looked tidy. He's never given the ball away continuously. And yes, he's a safe option. I agree. Sometimes he'll play a bit negative. He'll play sideways a bit. But I've seen Xhaka do that enough times and nobody says nothing.
But Apollo, the contention with Elneny has always been he plays too safe.
Yeah.
And people want midfielders going to progress the ball, take risks, go by players, split the defense, create chances. He wasn't doing that. Today and the last game, he's doing more of that.
Yeah.
And I think he's showing that he has more in his repertoire than people believe that he has in his repertoire.
Yeah. When I saw him play in January in Africa, he was voted all 11 in African nations. And he's always stepped in and done well when called upon. And the last game is this is no shock. Some fans are acting like, where has this come from? It's been there for quite a while. And I love the fact that he's showing it. It's frustrating because for some of you, and I empathize with you 100%. Nabil even said it. It's not just Nabil, David and all the guys, Bobby, a lot of guys in the chat have said, if this is what we've been seeing in training, why has Arteta waited for now to play him? And this is something that's frustrated Vincey. Vincey has been, it didn't work in a few games. It didn't work in another game. It didn't work, and then we lost against Southampton. Why have you waited?
Apollo, Arteta plays the same people every single week.
Yes, that's right.
He
I agree.
plays you to the 65th minute. He puts in Smith Rowe. He may put Pepe on the 80th. He does the same thing 24/7. That's what he does.
Like we don't have options.
Like we don't have options.
We don't have options. We've got a squad of 18. Arteta decided to have a squad of 18. We've got options. And this is why I say stop making excuses for Arteta. He wants to play a certain way, and he's stubborn, and he's got us thus far. But you look back at those 3 games we lost, he could have made changes.
And guys, look, El Nene's on the field. Nketiah's on the field, so he's changed it. He's changed
by
it.
Force, just like Martinelli played Martinelli by force.
Well, I wouldn't say by force because he could have played Sambi today and he could have played Lacazette. Lacazette's fit. Lacazette is the captain.
He could not have played Lacazette.
After winning against Chelsea, playing those, he couldn't go back now to play Lokonga and bring Lacazette.
Vinci, you're ahead of me. Vinci, you're ahead of me.
Yeah, if you got a stream, I'm trying to pick the stream up on my tablet. This is my nice new shiny.
No, I'm watching it. I'm watching it. Vinci's ahead of me, actually. Well, go ahead. Sorry,
Vinci. If you got a stream, Vinci, send it on the internal, and I'll pick it up.
No, I'm talking about it's live media app, live media player.
Yeah. Where was I? Right. So El Nene, love the guy, and he's doing a job. I just can't imagine what he can do in the midfield with Thomas Partey. Oh, Lord.
No,
And then Xhaka make us realize we don't miss Partey at this point. We have missed a beat, actually. No, we haven't missed him. Not even one bit.
Listen, let me be clear on one thing. How I've seen Partey play over the last 2 months. These guys are not at that level.
They're playing differently without Partey, because we used to have one-man midfield deep we used to have. Now they're both playing deep, so they have better protection for the back four.
They do.
When Partey played, Xhaka played further up to the left.
But you know how good Partey was? The man was a single pivot. The man, two of these guys make up Partey.
Yeah, but he was atrocious the last game that he got hurt. The game before, two of the games we lost, he was poor.
Yeah.
That's true.
So guys, Martin Odegaard, guys, we are so lucky to have this guy. We don't know. We're still not understanding how blessed we are to have somebody of this quality, of this magnitude, who can put his impression on a game like this and make it look so easy. I mean, we're blessed. We're blessed. The touches, the passes.
He has a lot of good attributes. I mean, his athleticism is not the best, but his playing the whole is brilliant, right? He has an Ozil type quality. You know, I love Ozil. He has an Ozil type quality where he can get the ball. He can get the ball between the lines.
But Bertrand,
the defense.
Yeah, but Bertrand, he presses.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, he doesn't have the extraordinary vision Ozil has, but he still has very, very good vision. He can find a pass. He anticipates where his player needs to be. Sometimes they make him look back, or they'll anticipate where he's going. But no, but he does press, but he's not the most athletic. So when Nketiah presses, it's a different press from an Odegaard press. Nketiah presses and pressures you pretty quickly, like Abba does when he felt like it. He presses you. He's running all game, right? He runs all game. That's a good attribute that he has. He runs all game.
And let's go to Saka. Saka, guys. I felt the injury, the knock, whatever it was. I thought that affected him, and it did. I mean, towards the end of the game, you could see that he came off, and I hope that he's going to be okay. And thankfully for us, we don't play until next Sunday. So if I was Arteta now, I would say to the guys, well done. You know, we call it in the NFL, we call it what do we call it? Anyway, where you give the players 2 days off. You come into them and you say vacation Monday, so you get Sunday and Monday off. If I was Arteta today, I would walk in that dressing room and say to everybody, "I'll see you on Tuesday morning."
Arteta said that he was injured before the game, actually. And he wanted to play, so he was injured, and then it just got worse, and he had to come
I'm looking at him in a different light now, because after speaking to David, the Chelsea fan, other teams look at him as our best player, and I'm starting to look at him like that now. And he's just so good on the ball, man. And taking the penalty, stepping up to take the penalty. I said to everybody in the stand, everyone knows he goes to his right. He's taken 2 penalties in his career, both of them at the right. And I said to them, guys, he's going to go to the left. And De Gea went to the right, because that's where his first 2 penalties was. Why would De Gea do that?
From the data, he knew he had to go right, but wasn't enough. The sample was too small. Yeah, smart. It was smart. Smart.
Oh man. Anyway, just excellent, man. And I think today what impressed me about Saka is his defensive aptitude. You know, he put in the shift defensively.
His body strength. People don't appreciate. Bertram doesn't appreciate it. Like his development that we've seen in the last 2 years. He is one of the strongest players in our team. He even shoved a player to the ground with his shirt.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, run, dude, get up. That wasn't a foul.
Yeah. He's a man-child. He's a man-child.
So I'm not sure what's the basis of how you judge a person's physical attributes and strength. Sterling is strong. Sterling is strong for a small player. Saka is getting better. Watch him against Crystal Palace and how he got bullied. Watch him against Liverpool and how he got bullied. Saka is getting stronger, but don't give me about... I never see anybody bully Sterling, even though he's a Saka statue. He's not the built, low-to-ground statue player.
You're comparing a 27-year-old to a 21-year-old.
But you don't want to tell me how strong he is.
No, for his age. What other 21-year-old is doing what he's doing? Do you see Smith Rowe or Martinelli even? And Martinelli has gotten stronger as well, but they're not pulling the rank that Saka is for his age in terms of strength and holding the ball and just knocking players out of his way. I hear you. Sterling definitely doesn't get bullied, but he has the experience of game time and he has the age on his side. I mean, Saka is for 21-year-old. I don't see any other 21-year-old doing what he does.
Let me tell you something about Saka, guys. If he was playing for Man City or Liverpool, he'd be starting. I'll tell you that for starters.
Absolutely.
Yeah? I look at him in a different light now. If he was on any of them other teams, he'd be on the team sheet every game. No question. He's just exceptional.
No. Look. Would he be on the team sheet for Man City every game? Nobody apart from De Bruyne.
Nobody's on the team sheet for every game against Man City, Bertrand.
Apart from De Bruyne, so I wouldn't say he won the team sheet every game.
Not even De Bruyne is on the team sheet for every game.
No, he is if he's not injured.
Yeah, agreed. Agree with Bertram.
He is if he's not injured. Now, look, Saka is a good player. No one is fighting that. His goal scoring to me is still challenge. He hasn't scored a field goal in the last 5 games. It's still challenge.
He's taking more responsibility already with taking the penalty. So no Oba, no Lacazette, and it's on his shoulders now. So he's getting the scoring, and it's going to be more and more. Like, think about that first goal. That's his shot. That's going top left corner, save, rebound, go. That was him.
That was him.
He made that goal.
That was him. So, guys, I'm going to go with Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe, guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to give him a 6. He was barely featured in the first half, and I would like to see, in fact, the stats of how many times he actually touched the ball. He didn't put his impact. He didn't impact the game. He didn't really do that much to impact the game, and then that's why he came off after an hour. And it's a strange one because between him and Martinelli, neither of those guys are on form at the moment. And you know, there was always that argument: which one do you play? Which one do you... Neither of those guys are at the top of their game at the moment. We're struggling a little bit there on the left-hand side. Maybe it might be time to try Pepe there. I don't know.
He's not going to play Pepe, Paul. He's not playing a Pepe. He's not playing Pepe.
Yeah, I know. I've given up on that now. I've given up on that. I was going to hire a plane to
That's
fly
what
over
he does. He wasn't playing NNA until he was desperate. He had to, right? The only game he played Pepe in is when he put him in the Wolves game because he was desperate. If he's not desperate, he's not playing him.
Yeah,
and he's very stiff in his ways.
He was desperate against Wolves, and Pepe got him out of that situation, and he didn't repay him.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
So that brings me to Nketiah. 7.5 out of 10 for Nketiah, guys. His movement across the middle of the field was fantastic. His link play, his hold-up play, just bringing everybody into play. I loved it. He was in that, in that D circle, drop back deep, helped to form the attacks. Was smart with the ball and never lost possession. And I thought that was such a key aspect to us moving the ball forward. I haven't seen Lacazette do that in a long time. It really goes to show some levels here. This guy is on 35 grand a week. His contract's run out. And the last 2 games, this is what a striker... I mean, he's a nuisance to defenders. I love that. I love the fact that he's an absolute annoyance to defenders. And it's the 90th minute, and he's still running down defenders and pressing the goalkeeper playing out of the back. He never stops. He doesn't know the word quit. It's as if he's got nothing to lose. And every display, the effort is there. We can't talk about effort when it comes to Nketiah, lack of. We can't talk about that because he's always going to give you that. And it's such a shame that Arteta's taken this long to see what the player can do because you're going to lose him. And I think he'd be a fantastic squad player for us. But anyway, Arteta, to me, gets an 8 today. I thought that Wenger time, 70 minutes substitution, you didn't get that from him. 56 minutes, 64 minutes, 2 subs before 70 minutes. When it needed to be changed, it was coming stagnant. Also, Man United got at us before half-time. They really got on top of us. At the beginning of the second half, you wanted to see some urgency and some impact play from him, and he did exactly that. I love the changes. Look, guys, this guy's on the sideline screaming at his players. I don't know whether you lot can see that from the television. Yeah, but when you're in the stadium, he is going bonkers, screaming at his own players. And I think this is a complete disparity between a manager who knows that this isn't important to you. This is his career. This is his job. He has to win. That he will not accept failure. And this is so important to see his body language on the side of the field now, because he will not accept a player on the field that is not going to pull their weight. And that's probably the reason why Lacazette and a few others aren't on the pitch. And why, as you guys said, he's been, well, you said forced, but he's doing it because it's going to cost him his job. If he doesn't make this, if he doesn't get 11 players on there that is going to give a full commitment, he's going to be out of a job. So,
but
African Guna, you got the coach.
Look, Laka was playing for a long time, and he was costing him his job, and he didn't do anything until he got COVID, and then Nketiah came. So, like, I hear you, but at the same time, like, there are many situations where we can say, look, Arteta, his job has been at stake, or his reputation has been at stake, and he still made, poor decisions. But anyways, as I said, like, for me, it's all about winning. I don't care how he does it. I don't care how we score. As long as we keep getting the 3 points till the end of the season, that's all I'm looking forward to. So I'm going to quickly go through my ratings, then I'm going to head out. Ramsdale, I'm going to give a 5.5. I think I'm giving him extra 0.5 because he made 2 brilliant saves for me. I think that really are game changers. I mean, that save he did from Dalot, he pushed it onto the post. It was kind of like the Madison free kick. I mean, that's how good that save was. Was really impressed by that. I agree his distribution is I don't know what's going on. Maybe I think he's gotten too confident, over time and like that when you start a first job, how you put in 120% and you're on your tippy toes, and like now he's comfortable, and that's why we were kind of seeing like the old him, his old habits coming to the forefront, right? It's just like when you're in a relationship. The first 6 months you always try to be your best version, and then the real you comes out. So yeah, hopefully he fixes up on that. I think he's, as we said, Apollo, he's still young, so he's only going to get better. And as Bertram said, he hasn't gotten really punished for his mistake. I don't know how Fernandes misses that today, because that would have been 1-1, and that would have been the same thing as Chelsea, where we score and then literally a few minutes later it's just back to 1-1. It's just like as if we never scored in the first place. Cedric, my feelings on Cedric. He's shit. He's garbage. He's not good enough. I don't like watching all the fact that
I think we have lost him, right?
Yeah, where's sound?
Your sound is gone, African.
Oh, yeah,
it's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably because I have my computer on my lap. It was blocking the mic. I'm saying when he stood over that free kick, I was like, this isn't even a joke, dude. Get away from there. You don't take that free kick. And Odegaard did really bad on it anyways. But I'd rather see Odegaard take it and sky it than see Cedric ever go and take a set piece again after the last few weeks. So for me, I think defensively not good enough. I mean, that penalty almost gave away that was a clear handball. I think we got lucky, as I said before, really lucky. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 4. I think that's a fair rating. I'm going to give White a 6. I think he wasn't really involved in the game today, and I think that's a good thing. It means we didn't really have to do much. I mean, from his part, I think, yeah, as you said, Apollo, his long ball and just he carries the ball out so well. He can really play as a midfielder, right? I mean, he's really versatile in terms of playing a center back role or a right back role or a CDM role. I'd even go as far to say as I think he'd be better than Xhaka in midfield. But look, we'll have that conversation for another day. Gabriel, I'm going to give a 5. I think, was the weaker of the two center backs. I think he had a really good game against Chelsea, but today he wasn't as good. Tavares, for me, I'm going to give, I think 3 is harsh, considering he set us up with that first goal, and it was his first goal in his Arsenal career. I'm going to give him a 4. I think, going forward, he's really good. I think his decision-making is really bad. There was this one moment where he gets, Nketiah plays him in, he gets the ball, he fakes the guy, puts him on the ground. I don't even remember who it was. Fake the crap out of him. Then you have a free shot, and he just skies it to the right.
Yeah.
You just gotta place that. Don't even go for power, and that's just like experience. And he even did it against Chelsea when he had that one chance. And I remember we chatted about it. He didn't even get it on target. And I'm like, dude, you're 1-on-1. You gotta at least get it on target.
Tierney would have buried that.
Yeah. Tierney 100% would have buried that. So look, I don't know about loaning him. I think next season when we have Europa League and League Cup, I think he should definitely play in those games, and that's where he'll build the confidence. But yeah, for me, he's a liability. It was so funny because, when he gave away that penalty at the pub, people were like, take him off now because he has a yellow. And I was like, what? You want to play Xhaka with a yellow card at left back? And literally Xhaka scored like 5-10 minutes after that. So it was really funny. But just the fact that we have no one else there, I think we still play him. And, around the 60th minute or whatever, now that Tomiyasu's back, unfortunately, move Cedric to the other side and then play and keep Tomiyasu. That's what I would do moving forward. Xhaka, I'm going to give Xhaka an 8, guys. Damn. It doesn't change my feelings at all. As I said, for me, it's just, look, he's been a good servant. He's a good professional. He plays with his heart on his sleeve, and he's just having a form of his life right now. I mean, he's pulling it together. But I promise you, everyone sucking him off right now. He's one red card away. He will be the demise of us on the last day of the season. We gotta win. We're winning. It's the last 5 minutes. Xhaka gets a red and a penalty, and the season is. I promise you, I can see it. I can envision it. I really hope it doesn't happen. But my point is, he has that in him, right? And I'd rather not take the risk of having a player like that, regardless if they can have maybe 2 to 5 amazing games all season. I want a player that's better than him, but at the same time, I want to give him his credit. I think, as we saw, his goal in Nketiah played a part. I think he also shot it through the hole where Martinelli was. It was a good shot. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, those are one in a season, right? And I want that like 5-6 times a season. We need more goals from midfield, and he doesn't provide that. But I agree. Him and El Neni have been solid. I think they have a good partnership. So I'm going to give him an 8. El Neni is my man of the match. I'm giving him a 9. Damn. When he dropped that shoulder, Bertram, I was like, yo, is that El Neni? Because, like, that move, I've never seen him do that move before. That was a great move. And he completely, he did it twice. But there was one specific one where he really just got us out of that press. And I think, in my opinion, I don't agree with Apollo. He's an average player. I think, again, like I said about Nketiah against Chelsea, he knows he's leaving Arsenal. And he's one of those players, he's giving 120% right now. He's taking risks because he has nothing to lose. Like, as we said, he's going to be leaving. There's no way he's staying. So I think he's just being a good servant to the club, and he's just playing his best. And apparently all Muslim soccer players right now are on top of the world. Like, there's just something going on. Allah's just blessing all these players for fasting. It's just crazy. So for me, I'm going to give him a 9. Doesn't change any opinion. I think he continues till the end of the season, and that's it. Good luck at Galatasaray. Good luck wherever you go. You've been a good servant. We got the 7 million worth that we paid for you. But dude, look, as Arsenal fans, we got to be realistic. This is the quality that I want above Xhaka and El Neni. Good servants, but we need better. Odegaard, I'm going to give it 8. Again, I disagree with Apollo. Look, he played amazing. That nutmeg on Varane was amazing, but he's not consistent enough for me. In some games, he's just not in the game. And lately, he has been. And when he is, he's amazing. But when he isn't, that's when my problem is. So, and I know he's young, so I'm not going to be too harsh on him. He just needs to continue this form, because right now he's creating all our goals, or doing the pre-assists. So he's doing his job right now. I'm going to give him an 8. Saka, I'm going to give an 8 as well. Our threat. He's literally our threat going forward. Like, he's just carrying the ball, doing the defensive work. I mean, you just know when he gets that ball on the right side that he's coming inside. He's going to skin your defender, and he's either getting a shot off or he's putting it on a plate for somebody else. And I mean, I keep saying it, 100 million pound player. That's what he is. You can't argue with that. I don't think any top club would get him for less than that. Look, Grealish 100 million, and you're telling me Saka's not 100 mil? Come on, nah, dude, I'm not hearing it.
I think he's worth more than Grealish.
Yeah, honestly,
I think he's.
Look,
hey, let's stop confusing. Let's stop confusing real value with meta universe value. You're in the meta universe value. You're in the NFT value. You're in the Bitcoin value. Let's use real world values. Yeah,
guys, remember, Bertram's a big Grealish fan, man. Grealish is one of his favorite players.
My point is,
no, look. I'm not saying Grealish. Grealish was never worth 100 million in the first place.
Yeah, he was.
That's crazy. Because Man City has that money, so they want to get rid of it. He's not worth 100 million. 2 goals and 2 assists all season. Granted, he doesn't play every game. He's not worth it.
I don't think that he's actually worth 100 million, but I think to get him away from Arsenal, he's worth 100 million.
Yeah, possibly.
That's the difference, because he's just too good that you're going to have to pay above the odds to get him out of Arsenal, especially if we're smart and we really have changed our transfer policy as I think we have, So yeah, I think Smith Rowe, look, he scored against Chelsea. He had to start today, but as you guys said, he isn't contributing much. I think it's a 6. I think you bring Martinelli back in next game. Nketiah, I give it 8. Again, it doesn't change my feelings on him. He still needs to go. Not a good backup for me. I think, again, been a good servant. Done really well, playing his heart out right now. And he's playing for a move. Let's be honest. He's playing for a move because he knows he's going to have to move somewhere else. So for me, unfortunately, I think you're right. You know, he's better than Laka from what I've seen the last 2 games. He stepped up his game. Apollo, your point about hold-up play, bang on. His hold-up play has improved a lot. I'm impressed with his hold-up play right now. And just his combination with the team and his running and everything, really. He should have scored that shot he had on De Gea. He should have put that bottom left or whatever. It was just lack of experience, but you can't fault him. I mean, he's really changed the dynamic of our team right now. And I'd start him until the end of the season. That's what I would do. Arteta, I give a 10. I give a 10. I give a 10 not based off tactics. I give a 10 based off results because I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. We won against United. We won against Chelsea, bro. That's my manager.
Come on, guys. Behave yourself.
Guys, you said what?
Bro, when have you ever seen Wenger or Emery beat Chelsea and United in the same week? Look,
yeah, I know. Never.
And when you ever seen Wenger lost to Crystal Palace, Southampton, and who else in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we've seen it.
No disrespect, Wenger. No, we haven't.
No, we've lost some stupid games with Wenger at the end of his tenure. Like we have with Emery.
African Gunner, Crystal Palace, Southampton, and Brighton back to back. So please spare me this euphoria about immediacy of results that influences all your perception of what transpired the last 5 weeks.
He lost 3 of his main pillars in his team. Like, yes, it's his fault. He made some bad decisions, but he also lost 3 of his main players. Look, Liverpool lost Van Dijk and dropped 30 points. African
Gunner is the same team that's playing African Gunner. This team has less of those players than the one that played the previous 3 games. I'm confused.
Look, I agree with African Gunner. You lose Party, Tomiyasu, and Tierney.
I only care about the here and now, bro. He won. I'm proud. I don't care. I give him a 10 for this week. You won't hear me say this again. If we get top 4, bro, what are you gonna say? Like, you gotta give credit to it. I didn't think.
No. I agree if we get top 4. Look, you can't look. By the way, I picked to finish top 6 this year. Let me just say that on the record. I picked us to finish top 6. Yeah, so if we get top 4, there's even gravy on the pile. So yes.
Yeah. Him and Tom were the only ones that said higher than 6.
Yeah, agreed. I'm just happy I wasn't expecting either result, so I got to give it a 10 because we got the best results we could have hoped for.
No, I would agree with the results are given the last 3 games before the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
This was extremely unexpected, so don't disagree with that. But 10.
I was
talk about why I can give him a 10. I'll get to my point. When I get to my time, I'll talk about it.
All right, because of Bertram, I reduced to a 9.5.
You sure you don't want 9.75?
That's Vincent. 9.21. That's Vincent.
All right, guys, I'm heading out. Good night. I'm gonna.
All right, Gunnar.
All right, have a good one, bro. Have a good one.
Good to see
Bertram, you got the conch.
Take it easy,
man. So I'll just say,
Bertram, before you go, guys, the boxing is over. And Tyson Fury stops Dylan White in the 7th.
So Fury gave Dylan White a right hand, and Dylan White saw it coming. Uppercut. Prepared for it. So when it hit him and he fell, he said to the ref, "No, I'm fine." His leg says, "No, you're not. No, you're not." Your brain is confusing you. You're not fine. He stumbled out. No, Fury is much better than him. It wasn't a fight. He carried him. It wasn't a fight. He's too big. He can't reach him. He's too much boxing skills. It wasn't a close fight. The only person who can give him a fight is probably Joshua, if Joshua can get in. But it's hard to get in because he fought him like he fought Klitschko. He kept him outside. He kept him at bay. You can't reach me. You can't get, and he can punch. So he's the best heavyweight of his generation by a good mile. Actually, he has no competition.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's going to retire now. He's done.
Now, Apollo, which boxer you hear retires when they're top of the game. They don't.
I know, but
they retire and they miss the adulation, they miss the crowd, they miss the prominence, they miss all that it brings, like most athletes does. He's not retiring.
Well, you know, I heard him on an interview yesterday, and he said it like it is, and the way he talked about his family, his daughters, and his wife, and
Paulo,
he's probably saying it right now. Actually, he's just grabbed the microphone.
He's going to put Paulo. He's trying to call out Joshua. I'm retiring Joshua. So if you want me, you got to do it now as I'm done. He's trying to call out Joshua.
Yeah, I can't hear. If you guys can hear what he's saying, let me know. Yeah, go on, Bertram.
So look, can you put back up the naming conventions up here? Yeah, so Ramsdale I gave a 5, and Ramsdale is causing me concern. And every ball he kicks, Pickford feels better. So in the first part of the season, Pickford position was on the risk to go to the World Cup to start. And every ball Ramsdale kick, every play he makes, every immaturity he shows, he's showing more and more that Pickford's going to be the number 1 goalkeeper. He has a lot of good attributes as a goalkeeper. He has the size, he has the presence, he commands his box, but he makes stupid mistakes, which are going to cost us, and hope it doesn't cost us in the last 5 games. And his enthusiasm, there is a degree of enthusiasm he should have. He crossed the line today with Fernandes. That's ridiculous. And he should be called out. People can't praise you for such unsportsmanlike behavior. It's not warranted. The guy missed a penalty. You're happy. You jump up in your box and you're happy. Don't go in his face and trying to show him up. What's that about?
Bertrand, you were just doing the Keown, man. What's wrong with you, man? You forget.
Well, yeah, I know. But in those days, that was warranted then, Vincey, because the rivalry was beyond. They hated each other, right? It was very obvious. Because we're both bad, so we don't hate each other. I would say for Cedric, I am not a Cedric fan. His biggest attribute have late has let him down. His crossing, his ball to the box, his free kicks. They've been letting him down. I don't love his game at all. I gave him a 4. So Ramsdale a 5. Because Ramsdale made a brilliant save with a dollar shot close near post. That was a great save. But apart from that, the mistake he made sort of narrowed that out. So I gave him a 5. Cedric I gave a 4. I don't Cedric should play. I'm just not a Cedric fan. White I gave a 6. White is causing me concern actually with his defending. Not his ball playing ability. We know he has that. But sometimes when we watch people play, like he and Gabriel, sometimes their positioning is not right. And they're very athletic, both of them. They have good physical attributes as footballers. He's a better ball-playing center-back than Gabriel is. I think sometimes Gabriel struggles. But sometimes he does some things I'm like, okay, you're positionally wrong. Want you commanding the defense. Either you or Gabriel, who's the captain of that defense? Who's telling people to move up, move down, position? You take him, I drop off. I don't see who's doing that between the two of them because they both make mistakes. Gabriel today on that goal, that's heresy. I gave Gabriel a 4. How could you allow Ronaldo to score that? First of all, you either back off, okay, not playing offside trap, so you can attack the ball when it comes in the box. You stand up beside Tavares, he's between both of you, and the ball drops and he scores. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you are in a position to attack the ball. That's why you can't attack the ball. Tavares, I gave a 4.5 because I gave him 1.5 for the goal because that goal sort of changed the game, frankly. Put us in the momentum. We were happy. The crowd got in the game. That goal was key for this entire game. But boy, he's a time bomb. He's bad when it comes to, I mean, not only is he, so here's his game before, guys. He's
look at Vince's face.
No, he's athletic. He's a run with the ball. He's a beat people. He can't beat anyone anymore. He's positionally unaware. He doesn't know where his man is. He doesn't anticipate well. The first ball that went to Ilanga, which could have been called a penalty, what happened? And where was Gabriel also? None of them were in the play. Ilanga got in a goal and probably should have scored or do something with it. He held him a little bit just to throw him off. So I don't know what the story is. And I thought Arteta should have changed him regardless of what happened. I know he's been changed 2 times against Nottingham Forest and a subsequent game, and that affect his psyche. But you know what? We don't have time for psyches. I need psyches next year. So I gave him a 4.5. I come to my midfield now. And my midfield is beautiful. Even without Partey. My Xhaka, my El Nene, and my Odegaard. But my Xhaka, by the way, has been the second most consistent player for the entire season after Saka. You go check everybody else's playing and how they've played all season. He's the second most consistent. And by the way, my Xhaka doesn't get hurt. Now, we can talk a lot about Xhaka. He's always, I can't play you if you're not on the field. So all these Partey lovers, and I think Partey's a brilliant player, since he's been with us, he's always pulling something. He pull a fat, he pull a toe, he pull a toenail. He's always pulling something. You got to be on the field for us to be successful. And Xhaka has a temper problem. I don't know what it is, because today kicked the ball away for no reason. I know he has a temper tantrum. But that's his personality. That's what he brings to the table. And yes, he did tell us to go where the sun don't shine. But we are forgiving a lot, Xhaka. And frankly, Xhaka, you're doing really well. The Premier League is a little bit too quick for you, and you play brilliant for your country. But I'm seeing the Xhaka that played for Switzerland, and he was brilliant. Nutmegging people on the edge of the box to run to create I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that, but I got one question to ask you, and you don't have to answer me because I already know the answer. It's rhetorical. If you added up all of Xhaka's marks out of 10 for the whole season, where do you think you would be? You don't need to answer.
6.5. But anyway, let me just say this about Xhaka, which is, as African Guna says, I'm going to follow his lead. It's about the here and now. And the here and now Xhaka is now. He's ever present. And by the way, the last game was brilliant against a very good Chelsea midfield with the contest of the world. Today he scored a screamer, which we know he has. But it's the 40-yard passes to change the game, to slow down the play, to spread the field out, to get my team to reset. That's helping him. He's a little 1-2 in the middle sometimes, which he has done with Partey quite a bit. Now doing with El Neni. Brilliant. El Neni today. So this is the El Neni I think is in there, but we have curtailed as a team, which is, El Neni just play back and play safe and don't do too much. Today, twice he dropped his shoulder against the press, create a ton of space in front of him. Drop your shoulder, turn, create some space. You have the whole field in front of you, and he did that brilliantly today. And he was brilliant. And for the last 2 games, because I hear him get knocked all the time, he's been brilliant. Not just good, being brilliant. So he and Xhaka have made us get comfortable. Now, and so I gave them both 8, by the way, and I gave them both MONT, sorry, man of the match, both of them, not just one. I think Odegaard is an interesting player, which is very few player has the ability in tight spaces to make the right play. It's one thing to, try to chip a ball over the top, but almost every single time he makes the right play in tight space, he looks off people like Thiago does sometimes, chip the ball in. He's brilliant in doing that. And he's been playing really well. Sometimes he gets lost, but the competition gets to be at a certain, that's what I want him to get to. When we play the Liverpools of the world and the Man City, he sometimes doesn't marry up to that level, because the athleticism is at a different level, and the skill is at a different level. And if you only have one of the 2 attributes, or 2 or the 3, it becomes challenging when everyone is playing at their best. But I think he's been brilliant. He wasn't to be found against the Palace of the world. Wasn't to be found against Brighton as much as he should have been. He had okay games in the Brighton game. But I think today, against Chelsea and again today, he showed his worth ethic. He played really well. So I gave him a 7.5. I gave Smith Rowe a 5. I think Smith Rowe has more potential than Saka. Seriously, I think he does. But he gets lost in games, and he doesn't have a position. He's not a winger, and frankly, it gets worse because they start moving Tavares out wide, put him in the little hole. He's not in the game, and Odegaard doesn't really support that side of the field. So he wants him to support Tavares left, but then it's not like we have Cedric on the other side, which is there's no defender behind you to help. So then you rotate Xhaka over or Gabriel over. It's not really working that well on the left. So he's lost in the game a lot of times. He'd pop up with a goal here and there. He'd pop up in a play, but continuity throughout the game, I don't see him that much, even though I rate him quite a bit because I think he has phenomenal feet, quick feet, and good on the ball, can make a pass. But I'm not seeing as much as I thought I would see him in the game. And I thought it's time for Pepe to get a run to the team. I know we're at the end of the season. He hasn't started again until October, but I look at Martinelli, who can't find the money he's lost on the field. Some of that money can't be found. He's still searching for it. He plays with his head down. He'd never see the right pass. And Smith Rowe, who's not in the game a lot of time, but who scored goals. I think with Pepe a run. I think Pepe could do what both of them does. So I gave him a 5. I gave Nketiah a 7.5. So it's different between Nketiah and Laka. Nketiah runs all day. He doesn't get tired, except against Chelsea when he runs up to the ground. Nketiah can get behind the defense. So the defender, I'm concerned about him getting behind me. I'm never concerned about Laka getting behind me. So I have to cheat as a defender. I can't just stand up there and play what's in front of me. I have to think about turning and running back. If my goalkeeper, I know I'm going to get pressured. So I have to get rid of the ball quicker. And as players, when you have pressure, it's different from when you have the old feel I can make plays whenever I want to make a play. I have no pressure. That's why coach always say, put pressure on the ball. So get you put pressure on you. His whole of play is not as well as Lacazette, actually. Because sometime in the hole with Odegaard, he doesn't have that little subtlety to make that little 1-2, even though he's getting better, and be able to create a little space. That little space you need to differentiate you and move you beyond the defense. He doesn't have that. But his whole of play is getting better. And I disagree with African Guna about him playing for a contract. You can't play for a contract when you're not playing. You ain't giving me no game, I'm going to play for a contract. I haven't got the chance to play for a contract. And I thought, I'm not the biggest Nketiah fan, but I think he has done really well the last 2 weeks. Whether it's pressure the defense, linking up with the play, putting some speed on the field, which is an imperative playing forward in today's football. Should he have scored that goal today? Yeah, but he did hit the target. He just didn't hit the back of the net. Right? And he did score the offside goal when we played against the last time we had played the game. He did score an offside. So he's a goal poacher, like a Lineker type player, but with some speed, frankly. Not great in the air, which you also need in your forward, frankly, especially when you're playing with teams who want to cross a lot. So we don't cross as much as we used to when Tierney was playing, because there's nobody in the box anyway. So I gave him a 7.5. I gave Saka 8. And I'm critical of Saka a lot of times. But look, I think Saka has been brilliant the last 2 games. I think what he does is put pressure on your defense. He doesn't turn the ball over like Pepe does. That's why Pepe struggled with Arteta. So sometimes he takes too long, Apollo, to move the ball. So when he jockeys, the defense recover. And people say he's marked by 3 people. He doesn't do like what St. Maximum does, which put pressure on you. Like, I get it, I'm going to drive at you. You got to make a decision. He allows you to settle and to put yourself in position because he's always looking for the right play at the right time. Not the worst quality to have, but he doesn't want to make a mistake or create a turnover or put teams under pressure. So he's always thinking about, how do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go inside the Odegaard? Because I think they have created a chemistry with him and Odegaard, which is he goes down right. He can go by you right, or he goes inside on his left and he lays into Odegaard, look for the 1-2 behind the defense, or Odegaard switches the ball over. So I think he's a very, very good player. I disagree, he's a $100 million player. I don't see him a £100 million player. But he's a very, very good player. He will only get better. He will only get better.
Yeah, I think he's going to develop. There's a few things you mentioned there, which I think he's going to develop throughout his years. When I step back, I've had this conversation with you before, and I've said to Bertrand, what do you think these players are going to be like in 2024? In 2 years' time, what does a 22-year-old Saka look like? What does a 25-year-old Odegaard look like? And it's a scary thing. It's an extremely scary thing.
Yeah, no, I think they'll be very, very good. I want Saka to develop a shot in both legs, both feet. Right now, his left foot is halfway decent, and he has no right foot. And it affects your game sometimes in certain situations. It doesn't get you out of trouble, because you always got to go back on his left. And therefore, you're easy to play. Now, some player like Salah or Messi, you could check it all day, it doesn't make a difference. They're going to get you to force you to go right versus going left. He'd probably get there, but he doesn't have a right foot. My hope is that he develop some semblance of right foot, like Pepe has to shoot with, because he has no right foot at all. But apart from the kid has grown immensely over the last 2 or 3 years. Will continue to grow. And my hope is that he become a more prolific goal scorer, because I don't see him as a prolific goal scorer. And we need that from him, given that right now we have no forwards. And I don't know where we're going to get one from, because you look at the marketplace, there ain't an abundance out there. There's no Lewandowski. There's no Haaland. There's no Benzema. So we're trying to differentiate ourselves. I don't know where that comes from. In terms of the changes we made, Holding has played well when he come on the field. He's defensive-minded first, second, and third. That has helped him. And who else we brought on? We brought on Martinelli. Martinelli, to me, seemed like he's lost his way a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that between him and Smith Rowe, we're trying to look for answers, and neither of them have got a solution.
No, and I think the manager should realize, after El Nene's showing, that he can't keep playing the same players week in, week out, and they're not producing like they need to in the entirety of the game, maybe parts of the game, and then he has people on the bench like Pepe, and he's not giving them a chance to shine, frankly. He should realize that. He's brought El Nene in, he has shined. He's brought Nketiah in, he has shined. Give other people a chance. They may shine also. Who else came in? And then we have the manager. I gave him a 7 Not give him a 10. Yes, we've beaten, because if I'm going to use the last 2 games as a judge, I'm going to use the previous 3 games as judge also, and it wasn't pretty. But I think he's put El Neni in and changed Lakanga, but I think that's worked well. The seniority, the maturity, the experience have really manifested themselves and shown the way El Neni has played. And then he's coming to close to his time with us and saying, I'm going to play who I am. I'm not going to play as conservative as I used to. And defensively, he's been very, very good, especially against Chelsea. And today, again, he's getting a lot of kudos, which he deserves. So if he's playing Nketiah, who's actually played really well, think about it. El Neni and Nketiah have been 2 of our best players the last 2 weeks, and they haven't played all year.
Yeah, it's before I go to Vinci, let me read out some comments. GK is talking about Xhaka saying it's his best season so far. Not difficult to improve on that, but I definitely would agree with you. It says GK would say Tavares is a calamity, a special character. Clearly, all I can do is laugh, and I can't hate him because, again, I always refer a manager to being someone who manages. And as someone who's experienced with that, I have staff, 12 staff. I have to manage them. And I have people who are adept at their job, and I don't have to support them or train them or anything like that. I could leave them alone, and all my job is to empower those people and ensure that they get treated the best way possible, and they'll have the freedom to do their job. On the other hand, I have some people who do need coaching, who do need an arm around their shoulder. And I've got some people at the bottom who are completely lost. So as a manager, you sort of have to know how to understand how to develop those players. And I have a saying, if a player fails, I fail. Yeah, just like in the workplace, if a member of staff is failing and has had to leave the company, then I have failed that person, because that means I haven't done my due diligence and my job in supporting or training that person. Now, if the person is already trained and doesn't want to do the job, then that's a different conversation. But for someone like Tavares, he's 20 years old, he's raw, and he needs training. So I never ever throw players like that in a can, and I won't with him. But at the same time, know your place. Because he's so raw, I can't take that chance on him because the prize is too great. So I have to go by other means in order to get what I want. And then we'll come to you another time when we're in League Cup, FA Cup, or whatever, when we're in preliminary rounds, and on most important, and on the training field. On the training pitch, I can help to develop those things in your mind and the physicality, because there's a great saying, being an exciting player and being a good player are 2 different things. You can be an exciting player because of your attributes, but you can be a good player because of your end, product, what you can actually do, how you change and inflict and impose yourself on a game. He ain't doing that. And there's flashes of him that are doing that. We can all agree, but it's not consistent. And because of that rawness, we have to be very careful, because we don't want to put ourselves in a position like, I think one of you mentioned something today. Here it is. Kuke saying he can't defend to save his life, and he's going to cost us points. That silly penalty he gave away. If Fernandez bears that, we're very likely not to be walking away with 3 points. That's the cost of a decision to put a player like that on the pitch. And it's not us that has to make that decision. It's Arteta. So he has to take that with a pinch of salt and understand that these are fine lines we're working with. Fine lines, guys. Fine lines.
So people say we should put Tavares at right back and Soares at left back. Why don't you think about putting, not Tavares, I'm sorry, Tommy. Why don't you put Tommy at left back? Tommy's supposed to play all across the back line, centre half. Then I assume if he can play centre half, he has the ability, the versatility. Maybe try him at left back. We can't afford Tavares there. I'm not sure we can afford Soares there, because I think he went there one time with Maitland-Niles. Both of them were awful, frankly, on left back. So somebody is there, because he's not going 3 at the back. So try somebody is there.
I think GK says it's like expect the worst and not the best to turn out from Tavares. Just enjoy the vibes. That Lee slide representation of the performances. Kuke, I do agree with this though, and this is probably the reason why I wouldn't move Tavares to the right now, because that left side they're struggling. Bertrand mentioned something about the relationship that Odegaard and Saka has on the right. We don't have that on the left. And what we don't have on the left is someone who's covering for the left back position. So it was a little bit different with Tierney, but you still need someone who's going to, and I know Martinelli, for me, Martinelli does a better job than Smith Rowe in terms of defensive cover, but they're still not exceptional at it. So when you're looking at that, then you then have a left back who's left out on an island. It's a very dangerous thing to do.
I don't agree with you, Apollo, but the issue with Tavares is not necessarily the cover. So we play different on the right than we do on the left, right? We don't push Suarez past Saka all the time during the game like we do Tavares. But look at the time when he's being exposed, whether it's on the Ronaldo goal, whether it's on the Langa, almost beat. All those things exposed is him being in position, but not being in position.
Yeah.
Meaning I'm in a defensive position, but the way I've operated, the way I anticipate the play, the way I position myself has not been what a defender should do. It's not like he's bombing forward like Xhaka did in what game it was. I forgot it. No, it was Xhaka did against when he was playing left back and Brighton and the ball came behind him. That's not how Tavares getting beat. He's getting beat being a left back in position and still getting beat.
Yeah. It says, would you sign another left back? Yes, I would. And it's a shame because we've got huge needs in the midfield, huge needs a striker. But with that being said, if I had the collateral to go out there and get another left back attacking left-sided player, then I would do it. But at the moment, it's not essential because we have so much greater needs elsewhere in the team. It wouldn't
you can always go through at the back and put Saliba up on the right. Gabriel.
That would be the way. That would be the way.
Gabriel on the left and Ben White in the middle. You can always go that way.
You've been waiting patiently, Vincey. You got the conch. Fab says, hey, everybody. What's going on with you, Fab, man? Tell me what you thought of today's game. Big shout out to you. Vincey, you got the conch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too dissimilar with the ratings here. I mean, I thought Ramsdale, just concerning. I think what Bertram says, he's over exuberance today. I think kind of got the better of him and his confidence with his delivery, with his feet, just overplaying, not getting the ball out early, kind of cost him. But he made 2 brilliant saves, and that's where we've got to see the type of player that we have. You know, if his head's in the game, his focus, he's a world beater. When it's not, and he loses concentration, he has games like this today. So your rating of 5 was good, but I think this also unsettled the defence. Now, I questioned whether or not the switch back from 3 at the back to 4 at the back would have a challenge to us today. I think the challenge was that Ronaldo was the striker that our defence were facing, but I don't think our back 4 was settled, and it helped by Ramsdale's performance today. Cedric, I agree with your rating of 4. So he's gone off the ball. His crossings is not there. He could have given away a penalty. I don't know, because he deputized quite well for Tomiyasu, and I think maybe sometimes at the back of his mind, knowing that Tomiyasu's gonna be coming back soon, probably is playing on his mind, because he hasn't performed in not the last game, but the game before and this one to the standards that we expected. So 4 is a good rating for him. Again, Ben White is probably the best defender we had today, so I agree with your rating of 6. Gabriel, this is my problem with Gabriel when I scouted him. He has lapses of concentration, which is hugely frustrating, and sometimes he gets very rash with his marking today. But what I saw with that goal, where he didn't do anything and then stopped, and the ball's still coming, and expecting Ramsdale to come and get the ball, and then you've got Tavares coming. It's just, I don't expect that from your centre back. The ball's coming to you, got to do something. Stopping is not an option. And I thought the haircut in the performance against Chelsea kind of was going to be a turning point, but he's gone back into some funk, man. So I just hope he gets out of his system, because there is a player in there, and you can't be great every week. So yeah, for him. My man Tavares, I am a huge believer of him. One of those games, man. If he didn't score that goal, he was going to be dragged off. Fair play to him. He scored the goal. I'm going to give him a 4.5 for that goal. But that performance first half, it's all about confidence. Now, it's a mixture of things. This isn't Tavares we saw in his first outing. So something's gone on that's affecting his game. He's dilly-dallying on the ball. I'm looking and thinking, okay, you've got time. Make the pass. He doesn't make the pass. He takes a touch. And then he still tries to make the same pass that he could have made 2 seconds before, and then loses the ball. And it's... I don't know if sometimes there's a lot of instructions from Arteta on the sideline. And I know when I played in games where your players are giving you instructions to telling you what to do, it sometimes gets to you where you don't actually make the right decision. But he just did not look comfortable on the ball. And it's concerning. I mean, he was getting roasted today. Absolutely getting roasted today.
That's actually a great point. That's actually a great point, Vincey, because he's thinking about what he's supposed to do, and the manager's barking at him, and it's contradicting what he wants to do. And then, and that's probably the lapses and why he's holding on to the ball for too long. That's a great point.
Yeah, because I haven't seen this in Tavares, this level, this game before. That stretch of games when he was keeping out Tierney, he was playing his natural game. Today he was even when he was in attack, he still didn't even look comfortable on the ball. That shot that he did, I think the ball came close to you in the stands when he was right in the in the 6-yard box. And I'm thinking, you get yourself in a position, you steady yourself, and you take that shot, and you're just thinking, not at that level, man. So it's like, I think that's something that Arteta's got to work on. I think Mourinho was guilty of doing that with Luke Shaw. I see it's huge confidence. And we need him. I know people say, send him out on loan, don't play him. We actually need him, because if we...
I don't think we're sending anybody out on loan. You've got 18 players, and 4 of them are going on a free in this summer. So you're only down to...
Vincey, it's addition by subtraction.
Yeah, but we've got a lot of subtractions. It's not just the players. It's not just the players on the pitch. It's also the formation. It's all the tactics. We're a work in progress, but we are making progress. And the key thing is we have got young players, and you don't want to kill their confidence. We're talking about Tavares not getting a good run out, and you've got Pepe sitting on the bench. Imagine what his confidence is like. He can't even get...
I know. I think his confidence is fine, because in African Nations Cup and against France the other day, he showed you that I have ability. It's a coach's thing, it's not me.
I don't have a problem with Pepe away from Arsenal, but Pepe at Arsenal, stop and think about his confidence. It's like a manager can't treat a player like that.
No, I agree. I agree with that one. I think Pepe has been unfairly treated. I think the fan base thinks that way.
Yeah.
He's gotten out with the fan base thinks that way. And Arteta is winning, so you can't fight when he's winning, right? As Pepe says, we're winning, so I'll take it. But end of the season, it's going to be hard for him to leave. He make about 150. It's hard for him to leave. It's hard to get paid 150 when you're not playing.
And the
one thing that I have to say, guys, is when you have a player who's destabilized in a team, they start spitting blood. They start throwing their toys out the pram. We saw that with various players, Sanchez, Maitland-Niles. We've seen it with various amount of players. Pepe, every time you see him, he's got a smile on his face.
Yeah, but that may be bad for him. See, that's the thing. I'm being a good person, and it's bad for me because Maitland-Niles got his way to leave. All the players got to leave, right? They all got to leave and go someplace else. Him being a good soldier is not rewarding him.
Either way, at the end of the day, January, Apollo, you were talking about the finances and how much we've got off the book on our wages. It's going to be bad for Arsenal Football Club, yeah, if we don't get a decent return if we do sell Pepe. Do you know why? Because of Arteta's not playing him. Yeah, you can't have it both ways. You just can't have it both ways. You can't kill a man's confidence. He's 72 million. You can't kill a 72 million player's confidence, have him riding on the bench, but want to get good money for him in the summer. It just don't work.
Yeah. And Apollo, by the way, Apollo, I'm watching your team play against Dallas. And my team is scouting Brunson, so we may have a point guard next year. Don't pay him a lot of money.
Yeah, Bronson is
your team is making him look good. Your team is making him look good. So we're going to be the ones paying him a lot of money. Sorry, Vincey, to digress.
So, 4.5 for Tavares. On to Xhaka. I'm going to go straight off. From half-time, I said he was going to be man of the match. I thought he had a really good first half. He was instrumental in dictating the way how we were starting the game with those crosses. He did 3 crosses that made United recognise that actually we're going to be crossing the ball. And Saka, when he got that ball and he took that shot, he crossed and they get the goal. If he didn't make those decisions, it'd be a completely different story. And I just love the tandem between Xhaka and El Neni. They've got an understanding, they've got a respect. It's not egos. It's like, okay, you go forward, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to go forward, you sit back. Let's move the ball passing. And one thing for Xhaka, he's always pointing and giving players directions for the triangles. He's making himself available, keeping the ball moving well. He's my man of the match. I'm going to give him an 8.5 today. That goal. Listen, we've been saying to the guy, shoot more often, but I don't even think he's been allowed to be up the field as much as he should be to be making those shots. And some of the times where they've got free kicks and they're giving it to other people to take. Listen, that guy can shoot. The manager should be demanding more of him to shoot in those situations because he's not wasteful when he's shooting like that. So 8.5 for me for Xhaka. El Nene, another masterful performance. A lot of fans are talking about that he's fasting and he's performing like this. But listen, the guy's a silky player. Yeah. And he's been cast aside since the African nations. I would have expected him to come in as a relief, sometimes as a sub. Not even Sambi got ahead of him. That's how bad it was. Sambi got ahead of him as a sub. And then he rolls out, we're in danger, party's off. He's put in 2 great performances. So for me, I'm going to give El Neni an 8 today. 8. Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. He's got to be starting for the rest of the season, and I actually don't think it'd be a bad thing if we do give him an extension on his contract, because he's the type of player. If the manager's willing to utilize, he will put a shift in for us, and we need those type of players.
But Vincey, why would he take it?
That's a different question.
When he went to Turkey, he played all the time, right? They wanted him. So it's no different from a Willock going to Newcastle where I get to play every week and maybe make the same money or maybe a little bit less money. You want to play every week. Like Fernandez for Man City basically says, I'm going back to Brazil. So I'm not sitting on anybody's bench.
But this is the problem that Arteta has. If we've got players looking at Arteta and you think, you know what, if I can't get into the first 11, first 12, I'm riding the bench because this manager's he's not interested in me. And that's not a good look. We could talk and say, Arteta knows his players. But players looking in, if that manager is not going to pick me ahead of other players in this Arsenal team right now, you are riding the bench.
Yeah.
And they're not going to sign for that. Or some people, if you're Winston Bogard, you're going to sign just for the money. But we don't want them type of players. So on to Odegaard. I'm going to give him an 8 again today. He's got that Ozil-esque ability. Great link up with Saka for that second goal. Lovely dinks. He did lose the ball a few times, which was a bit frustrating, but he's got the right mental attitude. And, captain's performance for me today. So a good shift in. Saka, again, I'd give an 8 as well. As I say, I'm pleased because he's so young, but his form has not dipped since Emery brought him in. And that's a huge credit for a young player to get into the into the England squad, England team, and still he's moving forward. So
12 goals.
it's huge. I think it's something where we know he's the cornerstone, and he's growing. He's growing. He's got a lot more to go. He's shooting. All these things are going to come together, but he hasn't dipped in form since Emery put him in, and that's something at such a young age. It's huge. So I'm gonna give him 8 for that. I'm gonna give him 8. My biggest disappointment today was Smith Rowe. Tavares had a very tough game, but Smith Rowe, I just don't understand. Just was not there, and yes, he didn't provide the cover for Tavares. Sometimes Tavares didn't need the cover because he got beaten 1-on-1. But Smith Rowe, he just didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even going to blame COVID. I just don't know today. I thought he would have been up for a game against United, but he just wasn't. With his idol Bergkamp in the stand, he's had photos taken with him, Saka, Ori, and Bergkamp. I thought he would have put a performance in today.
I think Pepe would be the best solution to put on there because at least you know what you're getting from him.
He's not playing Pepe. He's not playing Pepe.
I know. But
he's not playing him at all. He
learned with Nketiah and he learned with El Nene, and maybe this might be another lesson because
he hasn't started Pepe since October. We're now in April. He's not playing Pepe.
Yeah,
he's not playing. Unless all his forwards are all done, they can't play. They all injured, like we have in the midfield. That's when he gets a game. He's not.
Yeah, last resort. And Nketiah, I'd probably give him a 7 today. I don't know if it was to try and to build on the last game's performance, but I thought he would have taken that chance that he had when he was through and he just put so much power for just place it. If you just place it like you took that first goal against Chelsea, I was like, you know what, you're running, you're off to the races.
So
yes,
you're not the first person who's mentioned that. Bertram has as well, so's the African Guna, but 2 minutes before that chance, Ronaldo had one from the same angle and blasted it over the net. So
Ronaldo's one was a cute angle. Yeah. The problem with his one was he didn't look up.
Yeah,
he had no idea where the keeper was. Yeah, and he had a second chance, which he learned from because the one was offside. He faked first, then he shot. If you notice, so maybe he learned from the first miss.
But he didn't stop running. He linked up. It's linked up well, and even when he brought the ball out, he had the intelligence to hold it up and not just run down the alley, and that shows a lot of maturity and confidence in your game. And definitely,
it just shows your life because, as I've mentioned to you before, what frustrates me is I have to watch Lacazette go on the floor every time there's contact.
Yeah,
he's on the floor, and it gets to a point where it irks you because you're like, get up and do something. And it's just like it's almost like he's looking for that foul, he's looking for something, and he doesn't always get it. Eddie is just no nonsense. Eddie's just like, the mindset is just, let's go. Let's move the ball forward. Let's go.
And he's up for a fight. So, I'm happy for him to continue up front. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when my client came on the pitch, and there's a passage of play where Eddie came out of the attack and then Martinelli kind of like drifted into the middle, and then he just stayed there, and then it was just like as if well, hold on, you're on the left-hand side, but he stayed in the middle, and he just looked. It was concerning where they didn't know their position or they didn't want to maintain the formation and so forth, and it just looked towards the second half. It definitely looked like Eddie was getting tired, but at the same time, Martinelli didn't look like he was. It's like his head wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I don't know where he is right now. He's my client. I love him, but
I think the one thing that I mentioned today, I talked to Piers from Amazon Prime and I talked to Ebony today, and I said to them, you know, throughout this season, we've been talking about this is the youngest team in the league. They will have lapses where it just goes missing. That is common. When you have a team at this age, it's common. And I think we've been spoiled a bit because we've seen some exceptional displays. And so the 3 losses, when I stand back and look at it in hindsight, I'm not surprised. I really aren't. And I expected more of this to happen.
But Apollo, I do think, though, that some of the adults are the one making the mistake. So defensively, which is where we invested, where we should be having some of the strength, in the 3 games we lost, we had lapses in defense by players like GABRIEL, who are they're still young, but they're seasoned vets now. White is seasoned vet, even though he's young. So is GABRIEL. Soares is not young. Ramsdale is young, but he's a seasoned vet. So if it's a Saka, a Smith Rowe, a Martinelli, a Lakanga, yes, we can forgive them. But some of these other players who are, to me, I know, grown-ups. Because in football, if you're 24 years old, you're a grown-up. You're only going to play 6 years.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing at that time is just sort of understanding that when we were losing, I go back and I watch our videos and I sort of listen to the player ratings and I do all of that. And the one thing that stood out to me was there was not a single person in the first starting 11 who was exceptional or even good. Not one player. I remember making a statement about Saka had made 1 run against Southampton. No, this was Brighton. Against Brighton. He made 1 run on the right-hand side. Someone who's known for terrorizing right-backs. And it was just like, how can you have a whole team where one person didn't even stand out? So
but my problem with that, though, Apollo, is I do believe that Brighton and that Southampton, I'm going to hold Arteta responsible for those 2 because if players aren't performing, you've got to change something. You've got to change a formation. Okay, now look what's happened. He changed the formation, and Ketch's performed. El Neni's performed. Right? So you've got your rotation is Smith Rowe, Martinelli. That's it. If those 2 aren't performing, you still got Pepe on the bench, and you're not using him. Now I can't accept a manager not making a formation change or substitutions when you have players. Pepe is our most attacking and scored goals against Brighton. He did not make the pitch. Can't have that. I can't accept that. Especially when we're struggling to get past them because we look sterile in our attack. And that's down to the manager and what he did against against Chelsea, was give the team the opportunity to play their natural game and attack. So you can see we've had better chances since that Chelsea game.
Yeah, but Vinci, what also happened, Vinci, is that he's tried the Odegaard, Xhaka, Smith Rowe midfield, and it failed miserably. I think it was against Liverpool, miserably. And he played it again. I think it was against Pep. It makes no sense. There is zero balance. People don't understand their positions. Odegaard can only play the 10. Smith Rowe doesn't even have a true position. So therefore your midfield was wide open, right? And they carved us up. Secondly, Lacazette has scored. People got to think about this, 2 goals. Your center forward, who didn't play in its early part of the season as much, but played a lot of games. 2 goals from open field in the entire season.
Criminal.
2 goals from open field. He got 4 in total, 2 penalties, 2 goals from open field. And yet we're saying we're not going to give Nketiah a chance. We're going to try Pepe in the middle. Try anybody. Try your Ant in the middle.
Yeah.
Try anybody in the middle because he's not working. He doesn't go behind the defense. He's never in the box. He's never present in the air. He can only hold the ball up. We're not Liverpool with Firmino, who has all these skills, can go low, link up Salah and Mane who was scoring. We don't have that construct. So how you can afford Lacazette is beyond me. And by the way, he's the captain. We give Xhaka the captain and he lost his mind. We give Aubameyang the captain and he lost his. Wait. Before Xhaka, we gave what's his name who went back to France, who cursed us out and refused to go on a trip to America.
Yeah, let's just stay with Odegaard as the captain, and we can all feel better because of that, guys.
I don't want a captaincy. I don't want a captaincy.
Guys, before I shut the stream down, I want to ask you two a question. I just want to let you know, I don't have an answer to this question yet because I have to do a little bit more research, talk to a few more football agents, look at some game tape and things like that before I can draw a final assessment on it. But as I said to you guys, I got the message from London Coley and told you guys first off exactly what happened with Edu and Gabriel Jesus's agent with the meeting they had. So for me, just want to point out straight away, this is a player who's played and trained alongside Arteta. He scored in total 93 goals in 230 games. 131 of those were starts. So it's a great record. 41 assists as well. Gabriel Jesus, deal or no deal? Let's go with Bertrand.
Deal if he's a backup, but not my primary striker. He cannot be I've watched him play. Look, it's really interesting actually because you would think on a better team I'll score more goals. Grealish is proving otherwise. Don't understand why, right? So maybe he's not the man, but it's a very interesting conundrum, which is normally playing a better team, you get more chances to score more goals. But Grealish is showing the reverse of that in the team. Gabriel has not gotten a ton of playing time, frankly, at City, because there are a lot of people who can challenge for those positions. But here's my problem, Apollo. If he's rated as you're suggesting that he is, give him his score is 1 in 2.5 or 1 in 2.2 goal record, right? But Pep needs a 9. He plays everybody else sitting there except Gabriel most of the time. He plays Foden. He plays Sterling. He plays Grealish in there sometimes. He's not the person who you're saying the prolific goal scorer getting that role. It begs the question as to why.
Well, he's not playing Sterling a lot. We don't ask why, do we?
Sterling has been playing this season. But Jesus has not been a regular starter. Sterling has been playing this season. Jesus has not played a ton. Now he's injured part of the season. But if he's that good a goal scorer, why would you just give him the 9-year-old?
Yeah,
when Aguero left.
I think it's more the team than the player. But let me go to Sterling because we know from before the Euros, Sterling weren't even starting in that team. The when he played that came out for England, everybody was like, well,
yeah, but this is a new season. The Euros was in the summer, right?
Yeah. So,
but he did start this season late. Sterling having a run out for Man City, he definitely did.
Well, I'm looking at this season.
No, agreed.
I'm looking at this season. Sterling, in 34 games, has only played in 20 and started 6. So he's not playing, Bertrand.
I thought he was playing much. He wasn't starting at the beginning of the season. He wasn't, and there was question about him leaving. He started getting much more game time, which is you're talking about Premier League. What about Champions League and all the other?
I was about to go into that because actually you've made a really good point. I was going to go into that. Champions League, he's played in 5 and started all 5. Scored 3 goals and 2 assists. That's pretty good. In the league. He's played in 20 games, started 6, scored 10 goals, and had 3 assists. But my problem with Sterling, I'm not saying this because he's family, but with Sterling, is after this summer, he's got 1 year left on his deal. And he ain't signing no contract. I can tell you that.
He's not signing. Yeah. So the question is, do we pursue Sterling? That's the question. Do we pursue Sterling?
So, yeah, I've been saying it for months. I
think if
he's 27,
I think if Jesus comes, you're going to see a better Martinelli, and it's going to cause a big problem as to what Arteta does with Smith Rowe, because I can see Jesus and Martinelli linking up very well if Martinelli gets a run on that left-hand side. But to Bertrand's point, it is a concern because that 9, he needs at City, he's got balance on both sides, and that's our biggest problem. Yeah, if Saka's fine, but you're going to keep him on the left. Okay, if you're going to put Saka on the right, if you're going to put Saka on the left, and you're going to play Pepe, then you could have a good Jesus. But we haven't seen Arteta confident this season moving that direction. So I think he's got to. I think Martinelli wins if Jesus comes, but balance-wise, I still think we're unbalanced.
Yeah, I want a forward that look, when I look at a forward, there's some attributes they need to have, right? They're a good hold-up player. They can beat a man. They're good in the air. They can get behind the defense. They can find space. They can create space by how they move. They're a target. And Jesus has some of those attributes. He probably has 3 of the 7 I look for, 4 of the 7 I look for.
And most
forwards don't have every attribute. Like Haaland seems to look like he has every attribute. I don't know. He looks like he has every attribute. Benzema has every attribute.
If I have to say the 3 things from what I had a disclaimer before we started this conversation. I said to you guys, I'm going to have to do some more research. Bertram, you've probably seen him play more than I have. But I have to say, from what I've seen from Jesus, he's hardworking, he's unselfish, and he's very versatile. And when you're in a situation that Arteta's in, where you need bums on seats, I think that this could be something him and Edu have talked about, and that they can see him playing a bigger role for Arsenal.
And look, we have seen players who weren't successful. We've seen Salah at Chelsea. We've seen De Bruyne at Chelsea, right? They're players sometimes who in a very good team don't get the opportunity to play on a continuous and a consistent basis, and therefore can show you all the attributes, right? He plays for Brazil. He used to play for Brazil consistently, not as much as he used to. But I don't see him as a prolific goal scorer. I have never seen that from him. And maybe he's there someplace in his locker. He's a very well-run, good footballer. He's a good footballer. Is he number 1, number 9? I struggle with that.
So the question I want to ask you is, if Jesus comes, do you see Odegaard? Do you see our play improve with our triangles?
Yes.
And Odegaard not hold on to the ball as much, so he will have enough runners around him where there'll be triangles and the ball will be released, so there'll be more tick-a-tacker type football.
So I'm going to answer that question before Bertrand, because again, me and Bertrand, it's wonderful having you guys here, because we can draw up upon years of conversations that we've had and the experience that we've had with each other's thoughts and views and things like that. Now, I'm going to bring you two back to the Liverpool game, where we were, we had the second best record in the last 10 games, us and Liverpool. Went to play Liverpool, they beat us. And all Klopp did was lock down Odegaard. That's all he did. He locked him down. He put 3 men on their side. He left Martinelli one-on-one. Martinelli thrived in that game, but he didn't score or assist or anything like that. But he played well, he thrived, because he was able to match up one-on-one with Robinson. Here's where I'm going with this. When you've built your team, when you've got the bodies on the field that you want, that locking down one player ain't going to hurt you. When you've got a Fernandinho, when you've got a De Bruyne, when you've got a Gundogan, when you've got a Sterling, a Mahrez, you telling me you lock down Kevin De Bruyne and the other guys can't hurt you? That's where you're trying to get to if you're Arteta. So if you've got an Odegaard who can get locked down, you ain't got no plan B. So starting to build your repertoire, like, remember, this is why we've seen David Villa, we've seen all these players in Man City thrive. The whole damn midfield, the whole of them are exceptional.
No,
You
but
need to
I think
get
the
to a point where your midfield is exceptional within ball playing skills, possessional play, creativity, all of that. You need a balance, and I think that's what Arteta's going for.
Yeah, I mean, if you heard what's his name, there's a key for Man City, Joe Hart, and discussion he had with Pep. So Pep has a good perspective as to what he wants in a footballer. So all his footballer has to be able to play football. Every single one of them, including the goalkeeper. The one that played again in the American goalkeeper who played in the FA Cup, maybe the aberration. But they all need to be able to play football, right? That's fundamental. So Jesus, Sterling, Mahrez, look at all of them. Skillful, can play in tight space, not afraid to take you on, can find a man. When they're under pressure, they're composed. All those attributes they have of all those players. Arteta is trying to build that. So he went in his defense to find a Ben White of the world who can play football, Tamayasu who can play football, Odegaard who can play football. But the people like Xhaka who can play football but is athletically challenged, it becomes difficult. Right? Partey can play football, but not all of us, all the team in our team can play football. Our center forward, Lacazette, doesn't have some of those attributes. He can play football, but he can't run. So that hurts his game. And all Guardiola's players, that's why he got rid of Aguero, have to be able to press, have to be athletically can pursue you because he plays a very short field. Most time they're over the half line. That's why they get burned against Liverpool sometimes when the ball goes over the top. So Arteta's trying to build a team that can play football across all levels. That's why he went for Ramsdale, who's may surprise him actually eventually. I'm not sure it's as good as he may not be as good as he think he is. So I think the Jesus of the world may fit that what he's trying to have in a team, Apollo, which is he's played in a high tempo team, he's played close football, he's composed under pressure, he's very skillful. Him and Odegaard would probably work beautifully because he has that Brazilian flair, which is I can play the quick 1-2, I can beat you in a tight space and give you a little flick here and there, which is unexpected. He'll fit the mold. My question is he clinical enough? That's my question.
And I think your question goes back to my statement before, where if you build a team like Man City, where everyone's where everyone's consistent in their performances. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is you've got goals in Saka, goals in Smith Rowe, goals in Odegaard, goals in Martinelli, goals in Jesus, goals in Nketiah. If you've got goals all around, then that's one thing. But what we're missing is the creativity. So you have to have both in all of your front set-up players. And if Arteta can find that, and Jesus is a part of the solution, not the solution, which is, I think, I'm kind of trying to draw you away from. Because today you were like, no, he's not the guy that's gonna. I think we're trying to get guys, plural, rather than a guy. And I think I've said it before in my videos where I said to everybody, everyone's thinking this big striker's going to come into Arsenal, and I'm preparing myself for no. I can't. It wouldn't surprise me if he brought these false nine players in, because Liverpool don't have an out-and-out striker, City don't have one, Chelsea don't have one, and those are the three best teams in the UK.
But City's buying one. That's the thing.
But they've been successful without it. They're probably buying one for the Champions League.
Exactly, because that's the ultimate prize. So here's the thing. But here's the difference, Vincey and Apollo. His wingers are prolific. Our wingers are not. Saka is not prolific. Martinelli is not prolific. His wingers are prolific. They're strikers. His center forward is not the striker because he's dropping deep and linking those two and get those two ahead of him. It's a different construct.
Same as Liverpool.
But I'm saying the construct is City to me doesn't have enough prolific goal scorer. I don't consider Sterling to be prolific, and it scores a lot. I don't think Sterling to be clinical as he should be. Mahrez is more clinical than Sterling is. Yeah, De Bruyne is clinical. This is the thing. He has midfielders a clinical striker. De Bruyne is clinical more than anybody probably on their team, frankly, currently, the way they constituted. Aguero is clinical. Salah and Mane are clinical, but Firmino is not. Now, he has Jota, who's clinical. So, in essence, his wingers, and Jota play out wide sometimes, are clinical. And he's bringing Diaz now, who may also be clinical. So, what he's done is do a Kane situation with Tottenham, which is my deep player, is linking up my sons of the world. They're going to go score the goal. He may score periodically. When he plays Jota doesn't have the same creativity as Firmino does, but Jota is more dangerous.
This is a problem. We don't have no goals in our midfield, regardless of what's happening on the front players.
I agree.
We don't have no goals. Vincey, deal or no deal? It's a tough one.
Depends on the price.
Look, Vincey, I don't have an answer, which is why I put a disclaimer out before we start.
Here's the thing. I think we're a serious work in progress. I don't think fans really understand how deep a work in progress we are, because the style of football the manager wants to play. And I don't think it's going to happen quickly, but it can be effective, as we are seeing this season, if we take our opportunities. We're going to get Champions League football. So I would say it's a deal, but be mindful of what your expectations are. If we do finish fourth and Jesus comes in, that we are still a serious work in progress, because our formation restricts us from playing fluid football. Yeah.
Guys, here's my concern also. If he bring Jesus in, he's going to guarantee him game like he guaranteed William. It's the only way you bring him in, because Jesus is not coming to sit on the bench. He's not leaving City to come to Arsenal and sit on the bench. And if he's not producing, then what does he do? Do what William did, which he keep playing him until he played himself off the field? I don't know.
Next season, I don't see...
Maybe he goes on that left side where Martinelli and Smith Rowe is.
I don't know.
I don't, what? I don't see it so much a problem, because I'm not seeing... Aubameyang's not here, Lacazette, so we've got to have somebody up front. Balogun's going to be going out on loan. So... your options are up front. If it's Jesus,
no, Vincent, the question: if he's not scoring, what happens? You keep playing him like you did with Laka.
If he's not
Laka should have been benched a long time ago.
Listen, again.
Let's not talk about not scoring, because Lacazette is the only striker in the league who ain't doing that.
Again, managers.
No, what I'm saying is that if Jesus come, we saw with William last year. William was playing poorly after the first game where he had 2 assists, and he kept playing and playing and playing and playing.
But again, for me, that was down to the manager playing Willian in the system that doesn't suit Willian at his age. Again, managers got to manage. Yeah. He's got to give a formation that's going to allow the team to gel and be productive and use your best attributes. Now, our defense at the start of the season, not the start, but the first part of the season, was quite good. Yeah. We weren't scoring goals. Yeah. So now we're scoring goals. And our defense is doing foolishness. We've got to get a better balance in our team that's going to allow us to go out and have better quality chances. When you have better quality chances and we score... I was saying to myself today, when is Arsenal going to score 5 goals? Now, you stop and you think of the games where we've had 20 chances and we haven't scored 5 goals. When are we going to score 5 goals?
Yeah, other teams seem to be doing it easily. Right. Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham. We're the only team.
But if we have 22 chances, shots on goal, why can we not score 5 goals?
Yeah,
and that's something that Arteta's got to work out in moving forward.
I'm a bit of both. I'm a bit of you, Vincey, and I'm a bit of Bertram as well. My Bertram side wants me to see who else you're going to bring in. My Vincey side is like, trust the process. Jesus, you coached him for 3 years. You know this player at Man City. You understand how he fits in your system. He understands how he fits in your system. I don't have to worry about that. He's 100 grand a week. He's got 1 year left on his deal, just like Raheem Sterling. So he ain't going to cost you more than 25, 30. tops.
Yeah,
So-
the thing is that I heard 45 quoted, but you may be right because if it's 1 year left, it should be that much.
Left, yeah, it's going to be less than that.
I think a bigger issue to me is Saliba. You're talking about Jesus. Saliba is the bigger issue.
No,
Saliba
because
got 2 years left.
Gabriel's playing his way out the team right now. I ain't got a
No,
problem
but I'm
with
just
that,
saying,
man.
no, but you don't understand how the manager is.
It's the manager.
Saliba's got 2 years left. He's now a France international. He's probably going to be the team of the season in France. There's no way he comes sits on the bench.
He can
And he
start
plays with
demanding. He can start demanding, and people are going to then turn around and say he's got an attitude and so forth. So, we've got
He
some
will not sit
big
on the bench.
challenges.
He's not going to sit on the bench. He's not going
We've
to
got
sit on
some
the
big
bench.
challenges next season, but with Jesus, if you stop and you think, from January, we didn't have a striker, and if you were to ask somebody, you know what, have Jesus on loan, we'll take Jesus on loan in an instant. So if he's going to start next season, in comparison to having Lacazette up front, we're going to take Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think that's it. Time to shut it down. I'm not sure. Let's do closing comments. We're giving all our comments anyway. So I just want to say, look, I'm buzzing after today's victory because the rules change every time in our favor. And as I said, before today, we needed to win at Spurs. If we beat West Ham, a draw would suffice. And then we can win out the last 3 games. Advantage Arsenal at the moment. I'm really happy with today. Man United and Chelsea both beaten. When was the last time we did that? When has Wenger ever done that? Brilliant. I just think it's fantastic and showed a lot of spirit today. I'm really happy with the result. Bertram?
We're in a roller coaster and it gets bumpy every other week. We have no idea what direction we're going in. We are doing really well. Best position for top 4. We lost 3 on a trot. We thought we're out of it. And now we win 2 against 2 of the better teams in the league, which we had no idea would be winning, especially the Chelsea game, maybe Man U a little bit. So I'm optimistic for the rest of the season. Do I think we make top 4? I still think Tottenham have a better running than we do, given the quality of the opponent. But they have also hit a speed bump for some reason. So I'm optimistic, and I hope we can actually get over the line. And if we do, it'd be phenomenal. I thought we'll get all the plaudits and all the praise, and deservedly so, because no one expects us to be top 4 at the beginning of the season, given the competition that we have. And I hope he plays smart, as Vincent suggested. I hope he learned from the El Neni situation and the Nketiah situation and play your bench, because there's a reason why they're on your bench. They can play.
Vinci?
Well, I think we just gave an uppercut to Manchester United in the race to top 4. So, you know what I mean? It's huge. I think what fans are also not recognising, our goal difference jumped in these last 2 games. Yeah, and that's given us a good opportunity to, when we actually go to face Tottenham, yeah, we could even be on the same goal difference. Yeah. And that's going to be a huge thing. So that could take a lot of pressure. So, kudos to Arteta. He's made the change in formation. He's got options now. We've got Tomiyasu back. Everything's in our hands to be in Europe. And, he's done well this season. I said it's going to be a tougher season than last season. And he's made changes and he's learning on the job, as Ken is saying. But yet still, he's got the team in a position, and we're in a great position right now after 3 losses. So on to the next game, West Ham.
And I think that's phenomenal. I said that today in my video. I stepped back and I said to myself, United finished 2nd last season and they went out and got Varane, Sancho and Ronaldo. And look what Arteta's done with these bunch of kids. He's done a phenomenal job. I think sometimes, because we're in the middle of it and it's all noisy and emotional and everything else, we haven't really stepped back and look at, we're in this fight because this guy's managed to get these young players to compete with the best of teams in the country. And it's been brilliant what he's been able to do. Yeah, we've had some ups and downs, but look where we are. It's phenomenal. And I looked at that United team and I thought to myself, yeah, runners up last year, and you went out and invested in some big names, names that we couldn't have landed. We couldn't have got Ronaldo. We couldn't have got Sanchez. You know, we inquired about Varane, but he weren't interested because he said he wanted to play Champions League football. So, and then look where we are. It's sitting back and look at it. It's been so good to watch this.
But we did start off 0-3, 0 goals for 9 against.
I don't count the first 3 games.
That's what I'm saying. You count them because it showed you the progress, right?
Yeah.
You count them because it showed you start off at the bottom of the league. You were number 20th. You had no goals for 9 against, and now you're fighting for top 4 in foot position. So it does show the progress.
Yeah, and that shows how much the defense took to us in the first part of the season to get back into the equation. And look, in the last 2 games, we scored 3 goals, at least 3 goals back to back. You know, it's huge.
Luka is killing his team, by the way, Apollo. He's been a deficit, not an attribute. He's killing his team.
Yeah, because he ain't played in a while. He's got that ankle.
But he's dominating the ball. I'm sorry, guys, on the chat talking basketball. He's dominating the ball when Brunson was the one dominating the ball and making better decisions.
Yeah, exactly. I'm watching it now. I'm gonna just watch at the end of that game, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Yeah? Guys, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate the love, everybody. And listen, on to the next one, man. Peace out.